Yo, it's Payday Friday. It is 9:30 and I'm already talking to God. Let's get it. I'm that entering insomniac and deck static, tapped into tactics, manic magic, turn panic into passive static, into savage, mismanagement, romantic, tragic but classic, made my margin the margins, print my stress like bonds, set my sanity for yield, been hedging my wrongs, these prophets feel prophetic, it's a sermon of greed, I found God in the spreads and the lines I read, my drawdowns talk back, they got trauma to sell, but I leverage every scar like a client in hell, this the market mind gospel, faith in decay, turning bagel to sermons and charts to champagne.
It's Payday Friday, flame in the driveway, tray like crime pay, grind in the slideway, brain in the sideways, lane on a lie day, same old chaos, I thrive in the flyway. Short in my chest, got ticks in my veins, flip quick, slick talk, profits in pain. Broke that loss and I bought that gain. Still that freak in the free fall game.
I've been living off the tick rate, discipline mislaid, bullish on delusion, that's my 10K. I'm a stochastic sociopath with a purpose, me reversion, preacher, prophet in the verses. Every Ella lab test, I'm gambling with faith, turning cortisol charts to a claim of grace. You chase a bag, I chase a breakdown, that's conviction, that's playground mayhem. My indicator's manic, but my entry's divine. I'm a candlelight prophet with a back to the spine. Ain't a crash, I ain't dance through grinning. Every bear runs just a plot line spinning.
Quick split tick tricks, I'm ballistic, intrinsic, rhythm encrypted, my flow statistics, systemic syntax vicious, rich so delicious, I chart fictitious, fear got flavor, greed got texture, trade my regret like I'm hedging pressure, psychoanalysis, candlestick canvas, I'm the market's madness, mannequin candid.
Hey, it's Payday Friday, don't call it luck, call it leverage. I ain't rich, I'm just early, clock hit close, I hit God mode. Hey, it's Payday Friday, yo, don't call it luck, call it leverage. I ain't rich, I'm just early, clock hit close, I hit God mode. Payday Friday, yo, hey, Payday Friday, hey, Payday Friday, hey, Payday Friday.
Oh, brother, oh, brother, oh, brother. Good morning, and welcome back to another episode of the Matt Kohrs Show, where it is a beautiful Friday, October the 10th, and yes, it is in fact a Payday Friday. We're not giving away one, we're not giving away two, we're giving away 10 different prop accounts and $150 of cold hard cash to the fastest marble racer in all the land. I hope you've been practicing, I hope you've been studying, I hope you've been digging deep and finding that grit and perseverance, because it's all going down today. But hopefully the market is actually going up. Yes, Chase. I actually don't know if there's a little Trex in all of us. Let's stand up. Wait, Chase, are you actually Trex's new account? You made a new account? I think Chase is now Trex, is what I'm understanding. But anyway, Buffalo time, yes. It is time to break out the shirt that influences the entire global financial system. I had to break out the brand spanking new Buffalo shirt because I really need the market to rip today, and I would love it if the S&P 500 could hit 6,800. Is it going to happen? The odds don't look amazing, but it's also not zero. So it feels like the Dumb and Dumber scene. So it was like, so you're saying I have a chance? So that's why I broke out the brand new shirt. Did Trex get banned? No. He had a 30-minute mute a couple days ago, and I guess he's now made an entirely new account, which, hey, I respect it. I'll be whoever you want, Zaddy. Jesus, Chase. All right. As a Buffalo native, I approve. I actually had a kind of a surprising realization yesterday. It was a little bit sad, but also I think sometimes you have to realize things aren't perfect for you to achieve the next level. And what I realized last night, I really wasn't really doing anything. I realized that I don't have enough Buffalo shirts to wear one for every single day of the week. Let's say there was a highly impactful trading week where we needed everything to go right every single day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Unfortunately, I can't be that guy who supports us because I only own 3 Buffalo shirts. I own this shirt, and then I own 2 of the other white tees, one with the dancing buffaloes and one with the buffalo prints. So, statistically, I'm only good for 3 out of 5 days. That's only 60%. So I need to work on that. I very much need to work on that. So let's hope that in this short time before I acquire 2 additional Buffalo shirts, that there's no, I guess, overall community need for me to win or to be perfect every single trading day. So let's hope that I could get the shirts before that is actually required. How about them Eagles? Dude, don't get me started. Don't get me started. Last week, all Pennsylvania teams decided they don't know how to play sports. Penn State lost, Phillies lost, Eagles lost, and all were kind of embarrassing. And you wonder, all right, is it like a one weekend thing and we're going to shake it off? Fast forward to last night when the Eagles not just had a Thursday night game after an embarrassing loss, but it was a Thursday night game against the Giants, who were 1-4 going into it with like a freshman QB. And here we are. Honestly, congrats to the Giants. They deserve to win. It wasn't a fluke by any means. The Giants were the better team. It's just the Eagles. Holy crap. Don't worry, Penn State will lose the next game. Well, that's actually what I'm like legitimately worried about. I'm worried that what occurred last weekend is already setting up to happen again. I don't have the highest aspirations for achievement of Pennsylvania-based sports this upcoming weekend. It's not good. It's not good. So let's hope that all of my bad luck remains in the world of sports to give me exceptionally good luck in the world of the market. So that's what I'm hoping, that we all have a finite amount of luck. And right now, my luck is so much in the world of the markets that I just don't have any luck left over for sports. And even though it's a painful trade-off, I am willing to accept that trade-off. And I'm hoping that's what it is. I hope just all of my luck is in the world of markets and not in the world of sports. Because if I find it not to be in sports and I find it to not be in the markets, well, I'm going to be searching around all weekend attempting to find out where this luck is. So we'll see how that goes. We're going to see how that's all going. But folks, it is a beautiful Friday. I hope you had a great day yesterday. I know that we saw a little bit of a sell-off. Not many of you watched the update video, but that's A-okay. It wasn't really that special of one. In all reality, we sold off to a major gamma level, the put credit side of the Iron Condor. We found support there. We bounced into close. And right now in pre-market trading, we're looking pretty good. The tech sector's looking a bit better than the overall market, but the overall market is looking green. With respect to equities, there are many things that are moving in pre-market, but what's catching my eye already today is Oracle, ticker symbol ORCL, and ticker symbol CRWV, as in CoreWeave. Both are looking abnormally strong in pre-market, so maybe worth a place on your watch list today. I have a position on one of them. I already have calls on Oracle. I've been in them for a couple days. I used to play with CoreWeave last week. I have no position right now, and in all reality, I'm a little bit bummed out about that. I do want to remind you that the government is still shut down. Surprise, surprise, as if you didn't know that. But what that really means today is we were expecting job numbers potentially, but since the government's still shut down, we didn't get any of these numbers. So there's going to be some stuff coming out a little bit later today, but probably nothing to run home and talk to mom about, that type of a vibe. So the goal today is to kind of give you an update of some of the major things going on in the world. It does seem as if the conflict between Israel and Palestine and everything going on in Gaza right now, it's simmering down. Obviously, when we're talking about a multi-thousand-year conflict, we're not going to solve it overnight, but relative to a shorter time frame, it seems like we are making some progressive steps. So that's exciting. We talked a little bit about the Nobel Peace Prize yesterday and how it relates to this situation. I have some updates there. And then more so getting into the world of trade and the overall global economy. China destroying Qualcomm this morning. And I'm being obviously hyperbolic, but if you look at QCOM, the stock is taking a hit in pre-market trading because right now the Chinese government is basically starting a probe into some of its practices. So we're going to go over that. We're going to talk a little bit more about the current odds of the government shutdown, as in when we think the shutdown might end. And then we have some individual equity news as well. And then from there, I'll be breaking down all those key levels, the stats, facts, and figures to get us ready for the day. And then by then, the market's going to be open. We're going to be ripping it, and we're going to be enjoying Payday Friday. If you haven't already, sign up for Payday Friday. It is 100% free. Right here, pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. All you have to do is like, follow, and retweet. We're giving away 5 Apex accounts. We're giving away 5 Vanquish accounts. And we're giving away $150 cold hard cash to the fastest marble racer in all of the land. So pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. It is 100% free for all of you to take part in this. All you have to do is like, retweet, and follow. If you don't have a Twitter account, I don't know what to tell you. Either go make a Twitter account or convince me to run this on another platform like either Instagram or in the Discord or I don't know, something like that. But anyway, today it is on Twitter. Like, retweet, and follow. It is free for all of you. Once you like, retweet, and follow, you have to do all three. Once you do that, you're going to be entered. Looks like 60 of you have already figured out exactly what's going on, and we're just basically going to rip it from there. We're probably going to do it around 10:30 today. It's kind of dependent on how crazy the market either is or isn't, but just so you know, it's going to be about an hour roughly into the market. Are you worried about your Tesla position? No. Why should I be? At this moment, it's just not. It's not really a worried thing. It's just, remember, this is cold and emotionless. This is just, you either hit your risk or you hit your target. Like, it's just sticking to the plan. So obviously there's things that I'm hopeful for. I would love for everything to explode to the upside. But this idea, like, worried about it, no, it's just, you have risk, you have reward, stick to your trading plan. I don't think we need to overcomplicate it as if our emotional state is having an influence on the market, because it isn't. You can hope, you can cry, you can scream, you can be gleeful, you can do all of it. No impact on the market. At the end of the day, it comes down to you and your discipline and sticking to your trading system. If your risk isn't hit, if your reward isn't hit, you're in the play. If one of those is hit, you should be disciplined and follow exactly what your trade is. But anyway, back to this Payday Friday. We're going to be doing that a little bit later. Pinned to the top of chat in the description of the video. You should be able to find it. Not that difficult. All right. Stock futures are little change after the S&P 500 and NASDAQ pull back from record highs. So I know it didn't feel like it, but yesterday we did hit record highs right at market open. Then we sold off until about 1:30. That's exactly where we found support at the low from 2 trading sessions ago. And it also happened to be the bottom side of the new Captain Condor position, more specifically the put credit spread. As soon as we hit that, we ran into positive gamma. We were coming from the north side. It served as support, and then we bounced off of it and had a bit of a push in the SPY, more of a push in the NASDAQ, and now in pre-market trading, we are slightly green on top of that. With respect to momentum, right now, the 5 and the 10 minute, nothing too special. Even the 30-minute, nothing too special. The 4-hour right here for the S&P 500 still remaining bullish, just like the daily chart. So obviously that is good. Well, if you're bull, it is. If you've been betting against this, if you have a bearish bias right now, I think you're too early. Eventually, the market's going to take a hit. Obviously, I'm not in any way pitching that the market will exclusively go up. But there's no signs right now that the bulls don't have full and complete and utter control. So if you want to bet against the market, great, but don't just randomly short. You have to wait for it. Anyway, on the NASDAQ, the 5-minute, the 10-minute, and the 30-minute are neutral, while the 4-hour is still bullish. So the overall picture is this. We hit the all-time high yesterday, and then we had a bit of profit taking, and that was it. But you really can't be that bearish at a new all-time high, because every single other time we've new all-time high, 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 new all-time high. If you're arbitrarily just going short because of the new all-time high, well, you've blown out your account multiple times already this year. Don't just arbitrarily bet against a very strong trend. So we hit an all-time high on the S&P 500. We almost hit it on the NASDAQ. We were a couple points away. If you look at the Russell, same thing. We're a little bit removed from the all-time high. Bitcoin taking a breather off of its all-time high. And then gold, same thing. So a lot of these things, whether we're looking at gold, digital gold, Bitcoin, or we're looking at the 3 major indices, the S&P 500, the NASDAQ, or the Russell, they're either at or just slightly removed from their all-time high. The only thing that's really not doing right well, and we've been doing well right now, is the dollar. The dollar getting hit. Obviously, over the past week or two, the dollar has been popping. But if you look at the general trend, this is the kind of like the odd man out. And in fact, this is part of the reason why everything is elevated, is because on a relative basis, the dollar is losing quite a bit of its value. All right, so let's take a holistic look at, let's take a holistic look at everything going on. Israel says ceasefire has begun. Troops start withdrawing from parts of Gaza. Officials involved in negotiations say final details are still being smoothed out between Israel and Hamas. So it's not a 100% done deal, but as I alluded to at the start of the show, we are really making some solid steps. Now, I'm not saying it's solid steps relative to the multi-thousand-year history of conflict, but I'm saying relative to the past couple months, the past couple years, this is actually some really good news. Obviously, I'm always going to be a fan of less conflict, less bloodshed, anything in that world where less people are getting murdered and harmed. Hey, I'm going to be a fan of it. So It's interesting the timing of all of this, because we were talking a little bit about the Nobel Peace Prize yesterday, and we were kind of making the commentary that if all of a sudden this conflict were to disappear overnight because of the efforts from President Trump, would he deserve the Nobel Peace Prize? And then we were comparing it yesterday to when President Obama got his Nobel Peace Prize. And I kind of just quiz you guys without looking it up. Do you know even why he got it? Which, even looking it up afterwards, I'm not sure anyone knows why he got it. So using that as a precedent, would he deserve it? And actually, it just got announced yesterday who won the Nobel Peace Prize, and it was not Trump. Nobel Peace Prize awarded to the Venezuelan opposition leader, Maria Machado. So accolade is awarded for her work in promoting democracy and fighting dictatorship in her country. So obviously some crazy things happening in Venezuela, and I'm not saying she's not deserving of it. I'm just saying in general, we were looking kind of at these odds here, and you could see Trump really never had a shot. Right here, the orange line is Maria, and it looks as if it were leaked around 650 last night, because her odds, according to Polymarket, really started to spike, while everyone else's just started to absolutely plummet. The other people in contention, Yulia, Donald, and Pope Leo. But right here, Maria, either someone was putting together news or following a breadcrumb of trails, or maybe it was 100% leaked. But it's very interesting to see how accurate and how much Polymarket is able to front run some of these big events. I just find it very, very interesting. All right, pivoting a little bit more directly to the economy and the stock market, China targets Qualcomm, U.S. chips, and Xi and Trump seek leverage. So Qualcomm shares fall after China opens antitrust probe into the U.S. chip giant. Antitrust basically means anti-monopoly type issues. So like they're accusing them of having monopolistic practices, which is illegal in the U.S. and also globally. China's State Administration of Market Regulation, the SAMR, said that Qualcomm is suspected of violating the country's anti-monopoly law in regards to its acquisition of Israel firm Autotalk. Shares of Qualcomm were down 3% in pre-market trading. Do I believe that China actually thinks Qualcomm has done something that is in the world of antitrust? No. Once again, as this article was just referring to, it's all about leverage. We are still in the middle of a trade negotiation with China, and this is just like the tit and tat type of a thing, back and forth of, hey, all right, like we saw stuff with TikTok, we're seeing things with Qualcomm, we're seeing things with NVIDIA. This is just another piece of the overall negotiations. But anyway, here's what Bloomberg had to say.
How concerning is it that China is now opening an investigation, according to CCTV, into Qualcomm?
Yeah, so as you say, according to Chinese state media, this is a probe and investigation into Qualcomm, into whether or not they violated the anti-monopoly law in China related to that takeover of Autotalks, which happened back in June, in the summer, of course, of this year as well. The context in terms of the market for Qualcomm, 45% of that company's revenues come from China and Hong Kong. You compare that to about 25% for the United States. So that is the size and scope of the Chinese market and the importance of the Chinese market for Qualcomm, which of course supplies the chips that go into smartphones, iPhones and Samsung phones as well. And that is the biggest slice of revenue for them. They also supply into autos and the Internet of Things space as well. But it should be put in that context, of course, Vonnie, in terms of the potential meeting between the two presidents. This is a China that's ratcheting it up in terms of the pressure points on the US and trying to give themselves more leverage, frankly, in those conversations. And so you pair that with the reporting from the Financial Times that there are now these inspectors at major ports in the US looking at shipments of NVIDIA chips and AMD chips into the Chinese market, putting pressure, again, on those domestic firms in China. They've jawboned them in terms of trying to pressure them to walk away from purchases of US GPUs and try to get them to buy more chips from Huawei. Now it seems they're putting those inspectors in place at ports to really ramp up the pressure on those domestic firms. At a time we're also hearing and reports that they're adding fees to docking of US ships into US ports as well. So
all right, so they said it in a much better sounding way, but the TLDR is this, that once again, this is a small move in the overall picture of who can get more leverage in these negotiations. And that is all happening while we have other drama here at home related to the shutdown. Trump threatens to use government shutdown to cut popular Democrat programs. So as of now, 25.9 days. We'll round that up to 26 days. According to Kohrs, the main bet right now is the shutdown will last 26 days. as in the super majority of October. Looking at Polymarket, it is currently 94% confident right here, this orange line, 94% confident that the shutdown will go past October 15th, which makes sense because that's in 5 days. And when Kohrs is right now looking at 26 days, and remember this all started October 1st, yeah, okay, that makes sense. So only a 5% chance that we will somehow resolve this before October 14th. So the shutdown as of now is here to stay. Hopefully by as we get closer and closer to the FOMC meeting, which remember, this is where things get complicated because right now, as you guys know, the Bureau of Labor Statistics, obviously an arm of the government, is shut down and is not giving us any information. And the question is, when the FOMC needs to decide the next rate cut right here, October 29th, will the government be open? Will the Fed, will the voting FOMC members, will they have that information? Will they know anything about the jobs market? Or are we expecting them in late October to be making updates and decisions of information they have from September, which is August jobs numbers? Like, you see how far away that is? You see how incredibly far away that is? Matt's a fraud. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I don't know what we're talking about. In which way am I a fraud? I don't even know how to argue that. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. Californian refugee. I guess because you said it on the internet, I am a fraud. But I don't think it's fraudulent to say that it's going to be complicated for the Fed on October 29th to make the next Fed rate decision when we don't have any more data for them related to anything under the BLS, which is obviously initial jobless claims, non-farm payrolls, the unemployment rate. Just so you know, the upcoming week, we should get more information on what's going on in the world of inflation. We're getting some CPI and PPI numbers. Once again, that's next week. But the longer this goes on, the more complicated things might be for the next rate decision. So I want to put that on everyone's radar. Obviously, it's one of the hottest topics in the world of the economy and the stock market. So we're going to be paying attention to it for sure. And all of this is basically adding to the general sense of uncertainty. That's exactly why we're seeing gold go up. We're also seeing a devaluation of the dollar, which is pushing everything else higher. There's questions about the job market. We know inflation isn't really coming down to where we need it to be. And now just adding on to it, Ray Dalio warns of soaring debt and civil war brewing in the U.S. Obviously not helping with the concept of uncertainty by any means.
We're in wars, okay? There is a financial money war, there's a technology war, there's geopolitical wars, and there are more military wars. And so we have a civil war of some sort, which is developing in the United States and elsewhere, where there are irreconcilable differences.
So how do you see it being settled? Actually, where do you see the U.S. going? Does it get settled? Does it continue?
Either we will rise above it and realize that our common good is going to necessitate us dealing with
Very
it
shaky
so that
camera here on
what
Ray.
works for most people is going to work. I think that's a little bit idealistic. I have to be a practical person. And I would say that I think that these conflicts will become tests of power by each side.
Well, we're going to find out if Ray is right or wrong, but in the meantime, sign up for the newsletter. It is 100% free every single Sunday around 10 a.m. Depending on when I get up, you get a breakdown of what's going on in the market. When we're in earnings season, which is about to start, I give you a cheat sheet of the upcoming earnings. Obviously, every week I give you a little cheat sheet of all the major macroeconomic events. We are getting consumer credit at 10 a.m. today. These two, the unemployment rate and the non-farm payrolls, you see how they say maybe? Well, the fact that the government's still shut down means that that maybe has officially turned into a no. We did not get that information. So with respect to scheduled data drops, 10 a.m., consumer credit, like I said earlier today, it's not going to be the end all be all, but in the short term, it could definitely jostle the market a little bit. With respect to seasonality, today is neutral. So over the past 27 years worth of data, the bulls have won this 46% of the time. The bears have won it 54%. The profit factor is pretty much like on par for both sides, and the bias is neutral. So how do I interpret that? That doesn't mean today itself is going to be choppy. Of course, it could be choppy. It just means in the net situation, the bulls and the bears' efforts have kind of canceled each other out. And this is a look at the hypothetical equity curve you would have if you bought it open, sold at close on the S&P 500 futures market. You had a win, you had a loss, 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 you had a win. It basically just canceling each other out, which means for me today, I'm just basically not taking seasonality into account because it doesn't seem to be that influential. But what is influential is the fact that it is a weekly OPEX. So we're going to have a lot of positions that are scheduled to expire today. They're going to do that. As of 4 p.m. today, the contracts go bust. Now, I should be clear, it's just a weekly OPEX. Next week, the monthly OPEX is far larger, but with the fact that it is a weekly OPEX means we should see some pretty exciting movement in really across the entire gambit, but specifically in the S&P 500, specifically in the Mag 7. So a lot of things expiring today. Granted, there is more expiring next week. I just want to be transparent and honest and clear about that. But the fact that it is a weekly OPEX, fingers crossed that we have some nice movement today rather than just a movement at the start of the day. Then we get pinned and we end up doing nothing for the remainder of the day. So obviously we'll be watching that. I do want you to know, as of close yesterday, if you looked at the SPX, we are currently at 5,740. How are we looking in pre-market? So we closed out at last close of 5,753. That is 1 day off right now. So we're actually, where did we close? Right around 35. So where's my cursor? 35. We're right here. You could see we have positive gamma from 6,550 all the way to 6,835. We are still in positive gamma considering all expirations. However, if you look at the 0 DTE, you see we have a little bit more craziness involved. And really that's where I want to dive into kind of what's going on up here. Interesting pocket of negative gamma up north around 6,800. I want to be clear. That is 60 points away. That's a big movement based on the current state of volatility and especially implied volatility. But I like that as a target, and I like this support that we have underneath. We have a nice chunk of positive gamma support between 5720 and 5740, pretty much where we're at right now. So I'm hoping that this positive gamma holds, because if it does, that means market makers are going to be natural buyers. And then that gives us a shot at 6760, then from there, 6775, and then from there, 6800. If you need these key levels, they're on the screen right now. Feel free to write them down. Feel free to screenshot it. Feel free to use these levels, not use these levels. It's up to you. I don't really care. I'm not your mom. But as I always do, I mark out the previous high, low, and close. That is the green, the red, and the white line. The white box is the transition zone based on market makers and how they're going to have to hedge out their books. So bullish above, bearish below, choppy within. And then the final thing are these yellow horizontal lines, which are all the major open interest levels, as in where there's a decent amount of open interest, as in a decent amount of money on those levels, especially with a 0 DTE intent. Whether they're buying calls or selling calls, obviously we can break it down and discuss it as we get to those levels accordingly. But if the market were to open right now, you could see this level 6740. Let me go to this. I'll go to the 1 minute and I'll zoom in. We're kind of smack dab in the middle of this transition zone. We're roughly where my cursor is. So what I'm looking for is, do we have support at 35? Do we have support at 25? Down, that would obviously be a little bit of a bearish movement, but for a little bit of a bullish movement, can we break out of 50? And if we do, can we then run up to 60? So those are the bullish and bearish zones and targets I will be watching right out of the gate. Of course, we'll be watching the flow, and we're going to see how it's all ripping from there. So we're right around 35. Let me get ready for this. Here, I could drag this over a little bit more just to clean it up. So we are opening in the transition zone, which is more likely than not. So we'll see support at 35, which is also the closing value. There's additional support at 25. And then I'm looking for the first real bullish test of the day at the technical, psychological, and important gamma level of 50. And then from there, we're talking in the zone of a new all-time high. The current all-time high on the S&P 500 is 6764.58. So I am watching that today. We hit that all-time high yesterday. So we are very much not far removed from it. Of course, throughout the day, I'm more than happy to hop into whatever you guys are chit-chatting about. What caught my mind in pre-market trading is Oracle. I like this kind of higher low, this follow through. I'm curious if it can run up to 325. SOFI, higher low. I'm looking looking for the follow through up to 30. AVGO, same thing, higher low. I'm looking for the breakout and the follow through up to 365. CoreWeave putting in the higher low, already looking very strong in pre-market trading, looking for that breakout of 149. Tesla finally showing a little bit of green in pre-market trading, but it very much needs to get back above 441, 445 and test that 450 level. NVIDIA hitting an all-time high yesterday, looking pretty decent in pre-market trading. Palantir had a great day yesterday, taking a little bit of a breather this morning, but I'm still looking for that breakout. Looks like a perfect cup and handle. AMD also looking very strong, hitting an all-time high 2 days ago. Microsoft a little bit of a breather, but I'm looking for that bounce. Apple taking a bit of a breather right below the all-time high. You guys get the general gist of things. We are just hanging out right below record highs. And on that note, dingity ding ding ding, the world's largest casino is now open. Best of luck to all. Play responsibly, and if not, have fun. All right, well, as the market is opening, we're going to be looking at the data, collecting the data, breaking it down. I'm doing my best on not trading right out of the gate because I never really find much of a point in it. I will remind you, today's a Payday Friday. This is 100% free for everyone to enter. All you have to do is like, retweet, and follow. Do all three of those things. Like, retweet, and follow. Pin to the top of chat, in the description of the video. 5 Apex accounts, 5 Vanquish accounts, $150 cold hard cash. We're giving those all away today. It's going to be a fun race. It's going to be a fun random raffle. So get involved with it. Like I said, pinned to the top of chat, in the description of the video. So check that out. Obviously, when this data starts coming in, we're going to be looking at that. I have my Vanquish account ready to rip it. And when I see a good trade, I'll let you guys know. Maybe I'll even let you guys make the trade. All right, looks like the Mag 7 out of the gate, nothing too special, no big jolt one way or the other. S&P 500 a little bit to the upside here. We'll be looking at momentum. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, and 4-hour is all bullish. 5-minute, 10-minute, 30-minute, 4-hour is all bullish on NQ as well. So I like that initial push. SOFI is going and CoreWeave are going right now. Obviously, many other things are going. I'm just, the first thing that's jumping out to me is CoreWeave and SOFI. CoreWeave is actually having a good day. Just so you guys know, I have been trading CoreWeave, but I have no position at the moment on CoreWeave. I wish I did. Dude, I'm getting all these breakout alerts. What the hell is going on? All right, Coin, it's trying to get its cup and handle breakout. Look for that follow through to 405. Obviously, pay attention to 400. Rigetti, I was just getting a breakout. Rigetti just hit a new all-time high, a little bit of profit taking. Open, actually putting in this lower high, probably starting to break down. If you are watching Open, you were going to want to pay close attention to 691 because if it snaps that, that's not so good. People are continuing to buy the dip on Netflix. Meta bouncing up to its cloud here, the EMA cloud, but not really moving much past that. Oklo just consolidating, maybe its own cup and handle. Hut, Jesus, I got out of this way too early. You guys know last week I had all these Hut calls and I got out on this shakeout here, maybe a little bit, maybe it was Friday the 3rd, and I'm kicking myself for that one. That's a bummer. Hood looks like it's pushing for an all-time high. Apple not far away. Microsoft, look for Microsoft to recapture 525. That might be another beautiful higher low. I do have a position there. AMD's doing nothing. Palantir, cup and handle. NVIDIA, just inside day after the new all-time high. And I'm looking for Tesla to break 441. That would be another higher low. So lots of opportunity thus far. Lots of opportunity. No surprise, SPX right away ripped up to that next level. Key technical level, key psychological level, key gamma level. You better be watching 5750. Now, when we come to these key levels, I get it that there's all these gurus and furus promising you that they have a special system that tells you about the breakouts and breakdowns. It doesn't work like that. That's not how the market works at all. When we get to these key levels, whether we break out or break down, it's dependent on people who are about to trade. Or do we have net aggressive buying? Do we have net aggressive selling? There's no model in this world that can predict what all market participants are about to do. But what you can do is identify these key levels as in, wow, there's a lot of people structured there right here. There's like this negative gamma node that we are currently at. And you could say, okay, it's a key level. I got to pay attention to it. And no surprise, you already have a little bit of profit taking. Don't buy into it. Do not spend a single dollar of your hard-earned money on this concept of people telling you about breakouts and breakdowns. When it comes to key levels, you have a 50-50 shot. You might be able to increase your odds a little bit by paying attention to options flow, by paying attention to the structure. But once again, this idea of someone having this magic system that is right all the time. I know it's a bit of a bummer, but it doesn't exist. And if it did exist, they wouldn't be telling you about it because they would be making so much money. Why would they ever be giving that away? Why would they ever be giving that away? I am riding SOFI. I have to thank you guys. I've been watching this. It's been on my watch list now for weeks, if not months, because you guys have been shouting out about it. I just never really had the opportunity to get in because it just kept going and going and going. And finally, it showed a little bit of a breather. And then that's when I was able to get in. So I'm now officially all aboard the SOFI train. So to all the people who've been shouting it at me for the past couple months, thank you for forcing me to put it on my watch list. And let's see how far this train can really go. I'm seeing a lot of people talk about APLD. That's looking really good. If you're in it, ride the trend. But if you have no position, this is not the time to go long or to go short. If you're going long, your risk is too far away. If you're going short, you're fighting the trend and there's no signs of a breakdown. So APLD, Applied Digital Corporation, currently up 29% in pre-market trading. If you have a position, a bullish position, ride it. Ride it. Obviously, be mindful of the downside gap fill to 30. Be mindful of that. But other than that, I'm not seeing this setup for a new position. If you're bullish, great. If you're bearish, well, you got blown out and you should probably cut it because that's very, very painful. But to create a new position, I just don't see the opportunity. But if you already have a bullish position, ride the trend. You make big money from big trends. So when the trend looks like it's going, be safe with your risk, set your stop to break even, especially on big movements like that, and just keep rocking with it. I am seeing movement on Tesla. Tesla's looking good over here. SPY is still testing out this 50 level. I want you guys to know that in the event that the Bills win this battle, and we were currently at a big tug of war battle, you should be watching 55, 60, and 65. 55 is the high from 2 days ago, the previous all-time high. 60 happens to be this big positive gamma node, and then from there 64.58 is the current all-time high. People like to take profits when they're bullish up to a high, so don't be surprised in the short term if we hit that. But really what I want to see, not really talking about these psychological levels, the previous high and the current high, but looking at these gamma levels, I want to see the push above 60, and then I want to see a push to 75. So really what I'm looking for is for the market to come up here, maybe dance around a little bit, and then I want to see a push up to 75. That's what I'm looking for. Maybe it happens, maybe it doesn't. All I can tell you right now is the Mag 7 flow is strong. It is bullish to the upside. The S&P 500 flow is strong and bullish to the upside. In fact, it just got a flow alert. So as of now, price action, higher highs and higher lows. As of now, options flow is strong. It is bullish. And with respect to momentum, bullish. Folks, if you are trying to fade this at this exact moment, I don't know what you're going off of. Price structure, price momentum, options flow, and really just overall sentiment. Like, we're looking at all of those, they're all bullish. So I don't really, if you're looking to fade this at this exact moment, I don't know what you're doing it off of. You'd have to, it feels like it's random hope rather than anything else. I just got an alert on Oklo, breakout on Oklo. Oh, fuck. Do I want to play Oklo again? I made some decent money on it, but I fumbled that one. That was 100% on me. No, Equity Hub. I'm looking if the risk reward is currently worth it. Oklo, currently trading at 143. People are targeting 145 and then 150. I just don't know if the risk reward is worth it because I'd have to risk 130. So I'm risking $13 for a potential rejection at 45 and a potential rejection at 150. It's bullish. I really like the structure. I just don't know if the risk reward is worth it. I just don't know if the risk reward is worth it for me. So I'm going to have to wait on that one. Coin is looking really strong. Looks like it wants to tag 400, 405. HUT is ripping. This one's going to piss me off. I should probably take this one off my watch list because this was my biggest fumble of the past week and a half, without a doubt. I had that position. I got out for some good profit, but I left way too much meat on the bone. Whatever. It happens. No crying in the casino. Matt was being nicer than normal to chat yesterday, so he got the mean energy out on X instead. Yeah, I don't know how that all happened, but yeah, for those of you paying attention to Twitter, which it's a waste of your time. Like, you have to really be bored in your life to care about like social media drama. Yeah, but a fraud called me out, and then I just called him out for being a fraud, and then frauds, when they get mad, they lash out. So I said, okay, cool. Like, instead of just like talking the talk, and it's just a way to like rage bait and get a social media engagement. And this is classic. People love to call out people who are bigger, more successful for them, because then as you like and retweet, engage in anything, it makes their presence larger. And obviously I fell for that. But no, a fraud said something. Well, I wasn't even talking to him. That was the strange thing, is I was talking to someone else, and then this fraud chimes in, and basically I call him a fraud. And then what does a fraud do when you call him a fraud? They freak out and they lose their mind. So I said, okay, cool. If you want to trade and prove you're not a fraud, let's do it. And they said, okay. But that's the thing about a fraud, is when you engage in it, it's only upside for them. So I was like, okay, well, I'm worried that you're actually poor and have no money. So let's just get a legal contract. I want a way to be able to get my winnings when I win. And they're like, no. Let's just do it by a good handshake deal. Why would I ever in a million years just trust the handshake of a proven fraud? Like, it doesn't make sense to me. So I don't get why someone would be so confident to want to be in a trade-off against me, so confident, but then won't sign a contract for it. Like, it doesn't make sense of like, no, I'm so good at trading. I'm so good. I'm so confident. I'm so good at this. But no, I can't sign a contract. Like, the fact that people are that willing to talk the talk, and then I say, yeah, cool, let's do it. Let's sign the contract. I'll have my lawyer whip it up. And then all of a sudden, I can't do that. It's every excuse in the book. There's no reason to have lawyers involved. There's no reason to have lawyers involved. Why? Sign the contract, big guy. That's what I'm saying. I'm the one who suggested the contract. Homero Garza. I'm the one who said, let's do it. I even said I would get my lawyer to do it. Sign the contract, big boy. Wait, you're yelling at me to sign the contract. I think you're misunderstanding something. I'm the one who suggested it. I want the contract. That's what I'm saying. It's stupid social media drama. And dude, you guys would lose your mind if I released his DMs with me from a couple months ago, like begging me to use his platform to show it off. It's just a marketing tactic. Live stream it head to head. Yeah, but I don't want to do that because he's a nobody. He's much smaller, and I'm helping promote a platform of a person who is a fraud. That seems dangerous. Like, you see, like, it'd be one thing if it was a person, I don't really care about the size. If they're smaller and I like them and I thought they were a good human being, more than happy to do a trading competition and live stream it, and it would just be for fun. So, for example, there are other people, Trades by Ike, Nutty Bar, Trades by Matt. These are all people I like, and I'll collaborate with them. I'll do a trade competition. We could just even live stream together and bullshit, things like that, because I think they're a net add and a net positive to the community. I think they truly are attempting to teach other retail traders how to be better retail traders. That's one cohort of people. Whether bigger or smaller, I kind of run this channel. I want to be affiliated with other people who I think have their audiences, like what's best for them. I want that to be their main intent. Then there's other people who are like actual proven frauds trying to sell $4,000 classes, and yet they're paper traders. Bad publicity, but still publicity. Yeah. Matt, he's not a fraud. Matt, he's not fraud. Matt, he's not fraud. You're not fraud. Just do the contest. Tell him to sign the contract. What do you mean? And he accused me of being a fraud. And I was like, okay, let's prove it. And he won't sign that contract. Once again, it's all publicity. This guy just trades paper accounts. And unfortunately, I fell for it. So you could argue that I'm the stupid one in this because I fell for giving him, I guess, more publicity than he deserves. But that's all it is. It's basically he is trying to shill a $4,000 class, even though he has no realized returns, no proof of year-to-date returns, is a paper trader. Like, he's not trading a real account. He'll never log into an account and be like, hey guys, here's how I'm doing. Like, that's the one thing, whether I win or lose, you have to admit, I'm always showing you guys here. I will do a hard reload, not editing anything. Account is up $19,000 today. Year-to-date returns 215%. I'm up $195,000. This is a reload. I'm not fucking with the CSS. That's talk to public. If public found out I was lying about my returns on public, you think they would keep me on as a partner? You think, I'm pretty sure for various reasons that is illegal. Right here, I don't know what else to do. If you think I'm lying about this, go talk to public. But all I can tell you is I'm reloading the page here. Here's my year-to-date returns. Submitted. Here are my daily returns, up $22,000 right there. I don't see anyone else doing this, folks. $24,000. It just keeps going. Who else is doing this? No one's doing it, because they're all trying to hide something. And by the way, sorry. This just hit as well. My bot. 300. See, dude, more slippage. I did take the time this morning before having to do it on stream. As you could see, I did add the strategy to all of the accounts independently. And the first trade of the day, $300. That's not bad. Not bad. Let's see if we can keep the streak alive. Let's see if we can keep the streak alive. But my point is okay, whatever. If someone wants to challenge me to a trading competition, I have nothing to hide. Because my numbers are they're out there. If someone sees my numbers and they're like, okay, I think I could beat them. Awesome. That means you're a pretty good trader. And I'm willing to do this stuff. It's so crazy that they're like, no, I want to do it on a paper trading account. No, I don't want to sign a contract. This, that, the other thing. They're just running fucking scared, guys. And why they're doing this is they love to make drama on the internet. So they get engagement because they're trying to promote something. They don't want to trade. If they wanted to trade, they would send the contract. It'd be that easy. If they were that successful or they were that good, they would have no issues with it. That's the bottom line. Matt, I see him blaming his AI if he lost and a sore winner if he wins. That's really no benefit to human AI competition. It preems nothing either way. I'm not quite sure what you mean. An AI competition? I'm a little bit confused on that one, Clint. Year to date, I'm up 452%. Started so poor that it's a bummer, but I'd say Goonie Discord helped me with 45% of those games. That's awesome. What's the purpose of the contract? To be able to collect. When there's a lot of money on the line, I'm very concerned. So when someone's a fraud and they're a paper trader, I don't think it's that crazy for me to assume that they don't have funds. So why not sign in a contract and put money in escrow? Why not show proof of funds right there? What is it protecting you both from? From wasting time. You have to understand, if I'm engaging with someone, it's going to make their platform bigger. It's going to put more eyeballs on that. Why would I do that when I just all of a sudden I win and then I don't get paid? So you're scared? No, how am I scared? I'm the one who's suggesting to bring it to the next level of just sign the contract, send proof of funds. If anything, allegedly I'm a fraud too. So you would think that he would want protection. That's what I'm saying is I deeply believe he's a fraud. He is accusing me of being a fraud, but then doesn't want to sign a contract to prove it one way or the other. So even though in that I'm like, okay, cool. A contract, simple, will ensure that the winner actually gets paid. So what's going on? It seems incredibly fucking simple, folks. Sign the contract. What you going to do? Fight Tyson? Dude, if I fought Tyson, I would literally die. Dude, even at his age. Fake. All right. Not with your time. Well, it is worth my time if a contract's signed because then I could win money. But until then, it's not worth it because what's going to happen is I'm going to win and then not get paid. Stop accusing each other. Prove it, everyone, by just accepting the terms. That's what I'm saying. Sign the contract. It's not hard. Folks, signing a contract takes less than 15 seconds. 15 seconds. Matt, I challenge you to a duel. Pillow fight at dawn. I'll put up my Digimon the entire collection, or are we just doing a couple Digimon? Because the entire collection might be a little bit rich for my blood. Just trade. Why would you need a contract? Bruce, I'm assuming you just joined, but it's because he's a fraud and I'm not going to be able to collect my money. With a legal contract, I would be able to go after his assets to actually get paid. There's no way I'm going to do a trading competition for just the good of it, and then when I win, not get paid. Why would I do that? Hiding behind a contract. Okay, I didn't know you guys were. You really think just on the internet because someone says they have money, you're going to trust them? It would be good exposure for you either way. It's not good exposure for me because the person in question is far smaller. So it's not that way. I would probably do it with someone bigger and a better following. And I would even do it if they were smaller, but like I said before, a good person, a non-fraud. That would, yeah. Just someone that I trust. Inherently, when someone has credible accusations of being a fraud, you have to protect yourself. Yeah, he's a fraud. You're giving him too much PR. Yeah, that is a good point. See, once again, I'm getting sucked into it. When in reality, well, I can't even say I'm not trading because obviously the bot's already fired off. That is one nice thing about bot trading, though. Is you could be in the middle of talking about internet drama and it still trades and makes money for you. That's the nice thing. Where are my accounts? Is his audience coming over here? Do we have a lot of his dick suckers in our audience today? That's interesting. Well, folks, if you want to know what a real trader is doing and actually making money, welcome to a show where I'm not trying to hawk you a $4,000 piece of shit class. Welcome to a show. Buy my $4,000 class, and I swear you too could be a trader. Don't mind the fact that I'm a paper trader. Don't mind the fact that I'm a paper trader. Data. Do you realize that I'm a multi-streamer? I actually don't know. When you count all the views across the board, I don't think there's a live streamer in the live trading space who gets more views. Buy my $4,000 class, and I swear I will show you all of the secrets. Oh man, they're really butthurt right now. This is so funny. Well, I like how they're defending him, and yet he's literally trading on paper accounts. You're broke as fuck too. None of these guys are learning anything. Poor Seth is getting put up dealing with all these guys. Folks, the Payday Friday, you're going to feel bad for my mods. They're going to be working overtime. Fascinating that we get these new viewers. Poor Trex. This is where we need Trex. If Trex came back, we'd be able to upgrade him today and he'd be able to defend us. He'd be able to defend us. I don't know what this is. All this fussing is about. I'm the best trader alive. Full tilt futures. Based on your name, I kind of agree. Trades. Yeah, it's all about trades. Everyone knows Trey's a better trader than I am. Tori Trades. I know who Tori Trades is. I've never had any interactions with her. She's more of a swing trader. I don't think she does sim defunded day trading. I'm pretty sure she's a swing trader. Trey came back and then dipped. Yeah, he came back for a couple weeks, blew out an account, made a video about him blowing out an account, and that was it. Why is he a fraud? Oh yeah, he is a paper trader. I'm going to assume you're a liar. You can assume whatever you want. I don't give a fuck. See, that's the interesting thing about being an actual profitable trader. You kind of don't care because you know the money in your account. So you don't give a shit. Do you know where I would be in my life if I gave a fuck about the random opinions of people on the internet? I'm going to assume you're a liar. Oh, sick. I don't know. Do you want a fucking medal? Do you want a cookie? Okay. Neat. Nice, dude. What am I supposed? What kind of cookie do you want? Do you know how broke I'm gonna go? For giving away all these cookies. TMI is number one YouTube trader. Sorry, Matt, you're second. Hey, I don't mind that. TMI is a cool dude. Talk about trades, not Matt. I am Matt, Jim. Matt, Jim, I am that. All right. I mean, I kind of already laid it out for you. I told you, watch for the all-time high. We hit that 60 level right here. The positive gamma node, it was called out beforehand. The SPY hit an all-time high, and then we had profit taking. How do we know we had profit taking? 0 DT calls took a hit. They did stabilize, though, at 950. Puts aren't moving that much. There's a little bit of a downward trend in 0 DTE puts from 950 till now. But what happened was starting at 947, you had some 0 DTE profit taking, which they could have been bought today. Of course, we see this delta popping, but also since it's a weekly, maybe these people got into positions earlier and they're just choosing to get out now. But I don't know what to tell you. I called it out before and we just hit it. And together we're the show. I don't even know who this dude is. We're getting baited by chronic baiters. It feels like I'm getting baited by chronic baiters. Downside gap fill, then we rip. I don't think there is a downside gap. There is no gap in the chart right now. So there's no gap in the S&P 500. There's no gap in the NASDAQ. No gap on the daily chart, which that's the main one. When we're talking about the odds of a gap fill, that's the main one we're referring to. But I don't know if you're looking at the S&P 500, SPY, Qs. I'm not sure where you're looking, but I'm not seeing a gap from yesterday to today. You might be referring about hitting the closing value from yesterday, which is a play. The odds are not as good as the daily bar gap. The odds are still decent, of course, but that's not the main gap fill play. He's a master baiter. You know, some days it feels like it. I do want to remind you in about 4 minutes, we do have a report coming out. All right, so we basically popped till 948. We had a little bit of 0 DTE profit taking. That's this green line dropping there. And some people did get into puts. So both of these, the delta dropped because calls are dropping and puts are dropping. So it dropped at 2x the speed. But it's all 0 DTE flow right now. We're not seeing a big difference between what's going on specifically for 0 DTEs versus the full expiration. They're pretty much moving in lockstep. So all the movement you're seeing today directly relates to 0 DTE. We're not seeing a specialty movement for bets from to Monday or Friday next month or anything like that. As of right now, this is all 0 DTE flow. CoreWeave is up the most, but not doing anything too special. Let me know if it breaks above 152. Oracle's having a good day. We talked about that. SOFI is having a good day. Tesla then got hit. Broadcom's having a really good day. Damn. Day trading with Matt would crush Matt Kohrs in a contest. Who's day trading with Matt? I don't even know who that is. Do you mean trading with Matt? He's another SIMDA-funded trader. I like him. He has a pretty calm vibe, and from what I've seen a couple clips. He seems like a good trader. I don't know if he's better or worse than me, because how do you compare SIMDA-funded accounts versus swing accounts versus swing options accounts versus swing trading accounts? But I would say he's probably a better human than I am, just judging on his vibe. He seems very calm. Very, very calm. Holy shit, gave you $20 to tell you a lie. Day trading with Matt. I think you're talking about trades. Day trading with Matt? I think you mean trades by Matt. I'm not really sure. I think you mean trades by Matt, who, like I said, he's well known in the SIMDA-funded space. And I think he's gotten a decent amount of payouts from Apex, I believe. How about the architect? Don't know. Might be awesome, might be horrible. You've mentioned Wrench Capital. What do you think of him? Oh, I think he's awesome. I think he's a really nice guy too. I've had a little bit of interactions with him here and there. I think he's a good guy. How about Pat from PDH? I think Pat is probably one of the best marketers in the world of retail trading. From what I've seen from his trades, he seems fine. I don't think he's anything. I don't think he's bad. I don't think he's like anything special. But I do think he's special in the sense of his marketing ability. The way certain people, Chris Jenner, Dave Portnoy, there's certain people who just have like a special knack for driving engagement and getting like marketing out there. And I think he is literally an expert elite tier marketer. What about Dave Ramsey? He's not a trader at all. He's an investor, and I think he's a little too old school for my liking. If you don't know anything about markets or investing, I think you could learn from him, but I think his knowledge and opinions are a little bit of yesteryear, so I think it's a good starting place, but I don't think he's like the ultimate opinion on the best ways to engage in the market or handle your finances. TJR, all I know about him is he's a meme stock pumper. So if you enjoy trading meme stocks and if you're early to the play, you can make a lot of money, but obviously it's hyper dangerous. But
order submitted.
To my knowledge, he's in the world of meme stocks. He's in the world of meme stocks. All right. Icarus is ripping it. How do I zoom in on this? Old Icarus. Ooh, Icarus. I didn't think Icarus was going to be trading at 10 a.m. today. I thought it was 10:30. I thought time has already been flying. I'm not the biggest fan of when Icarus takes trades around data drops because sometimes you get wicked into positions where it almost feels as if you just waited a little bit, you could have had a better entry. It feels like you could have had exactly like I'm talking about. I don't like when Icarus trades right around data drops because of this exact reason. This exact reason. Even if it's a delay, I thought we resolved that issue a while ago. I thought we resolved that a long time ago. A long time ago. Because of 10 a.m. announcements. When you're trading these types of things, it's 50-50. You don't know how the market's going to react to it. We pumped up a little bit, and then you could see people just started unloading about a minute later. And it's because of just kind of the binary nature of these that I'm not a fan of it at all. It's awesome if you're on the right side of it, of course. But to be able to predict what the data drop's going to be and to be able to predict how the market's going to react to said data drop, like I said, you get 1 to 2 to 5 minutes of craziness. And I find, and it was consumer sentiment, by the way. Are they talking about it? Is Rick up? Yeah, Rick is up. It came in a little bit higher than anticipated.
1.7 the rear view mirror, slamming the consistent 51.7 the rear.
Why is the volume so low?
This year to find a lower number. Now the inflation numbers 4.6 on 1 year. That's 1/10 less than we're expecting and less than the 4.7 in the rear view mirror. 4.6 will be the lowest read going back to February when we were at 4.3. And finally, the 10-year inflation stays at 3.7, both matching expectations and in the rear view mirror. To find a lower number, you'd have to go back to August at 3.5 to find a higher number. You're in June at 4.0 to give you some context there. Very quickly, the government shutdown has caused us not to see construction spending, 2 jobless claims, factory orders, September jobs report, wholesale inventories and sales. However, maybe CPI on Wednesday, scheduled at least the 15th of October. It may be released. I'm not sure if that's going to be the day. Think COLA here.
So consumer sentiment was slightly better than expected.
On the week, 409 is current 10-year. It settled at 412 last week, down 3 basis points. David, back to you.
Rick, thank you. Rick
Oklo
Santelli
past
in
150.
Chicago. Let's stick with the macro picture. Federal Reserve Governor and Fed Chair shortlist candidate
Uncle Bruce
Christopher
got
Waller joined
Trey tied up
CNBC
in his
earlier
basement.
this morning. He weighed
that
in
would probably
on the
be
Fed's rate
a
path.
good situation for Trey.
I'm still in the belief we need to cut rates.
All right, but we don't need that. We need this. AVGO looking good. Oracle looking good. The initial reaction, this 1 minute bar, obviously the market. I hate these 50-50 shots. If you're feeling like it's 50-50, I mean, you technically can make money if you have less risk and higher reward, but I just don't find it to be the best way to really engage in the markets. However, sometimes it is a bit telling. So obviously you have this reaction right here. 10 and 10:01, that's pretty much the market's reaction to this event. I believe, and actually I have some of the data to back it up, that when you find out the range created by a data drop, so right here, the high to low, it can be influential to see which way you break out of that range, because you're getting an idea of market equilibrium, doesn't want to be above or below. So the white box in both the SPY and the Qs is effectively the range created right from that announcement. So let's just be patient and see which way it goes. Speaking of going, AVGO looking very good. Tesla trying to hold green. SOFI ripped to $29.80, almost hit $30, and now we have some profit taking, and things got a little bit hit there on that 10 a.m. announcement. AVGO's looking good, NVIDIA's looking good, Oracle's looking good. How's CoreWeave? CoreWeave is also looking decent. So the biggest stock in the world looking pretty solid. A related stock, AVGO, looking pretty solid. A related stock, Oracle, looking pretty solid. So basically, looks like SMH, the oh, that one's even, actually, it's a little low. So which semiconductors are not performing today? Is it AMD? Okay, AMD is dragging the semiconductor sphere down a little bit, which is strange. AMD is down 1.9% as NVIDIA, AVGO, and Oracle are actually all up. Tangentially related, CoreWeave is having a good day. It's up 5%. SOFI, not related at all, up 2.5%. Or Tesla, it's in the tech sphere. It's up, but intraday does not look the best. Coin was looking good, got smacked hard at 402. Looks like we did also just break this recent low at 398. So semiconductors are still going up, but the SPY and the Qs are not really loving it at the moment. We'll drag this out. I'm curious if we're going to have buyers step in. At this high value. Let's see. You could also watch this trend line. Actually, I wouldn't mind doing my Vanquish trade on this trend line break. What would that look like on SPX? Obviously, my bias is bullish. You've seen all my call positions and whatnot. I'm seeing that we got smacked at 50. I'm watching this trend line. So I could probably play 60. Right. Do I need to zoom out? I'm getting weird. 60. All right. I'm not doing the order quite yet. I'm just getting it ready. All right. Well, there's the potential. All right. We'll let it rip. We're going to see how it's going to go. So SPX October, I'm 10, 590. So 740 is my target. 740 is the target. I'm putting that order in right now. I'm in at 590. My unrealized P&L is on the top of the screen, 550, 750. I'm trying to get 1.5K. Like I said, I kind of laid it out for you. I'm looking at this overshoot. I think people overreacted to this data. I saw this support at 750. I think there's a very realistic shot on this trendline breakout of touching 760. Most likely I'll be able to lock in my profit before that. And obviously my risk is this recent low. So I have more reward than I do risk. It's trading with overall trend. I'm taking advantage of a short-term pullback, looking at the overall flow. S&P 500, it was looking good, got really chopped up at 10. Mag 7, trying to at least stabilize. We're going to see how it goes. I'm watching this trend line. Coin, I'd rather watch Oracle, which is looking good today. But I'm looking at this trend line right here. And then I'm also looking at the range created from that 10 a.m. data drop that the market didn't like. That, once again, my opinion is the market overreacted to, in my humble opinion. But we're going to see how this goes. And you guys saw the trade in real time, currently up $500, $450. If I do make the 1.5K on this, that'll be my one trade of the day, just considering their, I guess, rules, their consistency rules. Let's see if I'm looking for this trend line breakout to hold right here. NVIDIA's looking good. That should help out the Qs and really help out the SPY. AVGO is looking good as well. I have AVGO calls. I do not have NVIDIA calls. I have Oracle calls. I have SOFI calls. I have Tesla calls. I have SPY calls. I have SPX calls. I have Q calls. And I have NDX calls. I believe those are all my positions. There might be one that I'm missing. I thought I had 8 open positions. Let me double check. What did I say? SOFI calls, AVGO calls. Oh, Oracle and Microsoft as well. So Oracle I'm in. Microsoft is break even on the day. I wish this one would improve. I am currently up on SOFI, AVGO, Oracle, AVGO, and Microsoft. I am down on SPY, SPX, and Tesla. But that's also 10-10. So you never know how this stuff is going to play out. You never know how this stuff is going to play out. You never know. You never know. Hang on, let me double check one thing. I want to make sure Icarus is still up and going. Okay, Icarus is still up and going. I got confused. Hang on, what's this data reading? No, what's this data reading? Point of control. Okay, right. VWAP, where was it? VWAP and the point of control are both 25,330. So if you're trading NQ, 25,300, it's 10 points below where we are right now. This white block is the overnight trading session high, which is a common target, which you would have hit back at 937. You could have had this nice entry at 935. You're in around 35. You hit your target at 55. That's 20 points per NQ contract. That's $400. You pretty much could have been done trading on the day. We try to get right back above it before the 10 a.m. announcement. 10 a.m. announcement dropped it. We got this unfortunate flush low, probably wicked a lot of people out, but I'm seeing an inverse shoulder, head, shoulder. But really, I just want to see the market go above this pre-market high at 55, and then I think the party's fully back on if we take out 71. So that's how I'd be looking at NQ. Looking at SPX, I already have this trend line. I was showing you what's going on. I want to see it take out 55. That is the previous all-time high, which was created 2 days ago, but the real battle is here at 60 because that is this positive gamma node. Let me switch this to the 5-minute. I'm still seeing 85 is becoming very important. Is that just a call credit spread? Yeah, it is. So there is a very, very large call credit spread, 19.8 thousand. That is a lot of contracts. That is a 0 DTE position as in expiring today. If you don't know what a call credit spread is, this player sold a 19.8 thousand SPX contracts at 67.85. The protective leg was at 6,790. Not exactly the same size though, 19.8 versus 14.5. So it's a little bit imbalanced. But anyway, it's a CCS, a call credit spread. This is a neutral to bearish bet. This play gets max profit if the day ends below 6785. It doesn't matter if it's a little bit below or a lot of bit below, but that bet specifically, they just need today to conclude below 6785, and it is sizable. Actually, in terms of the 30-day percentile, it is a 99.4 percentile position, as in 99.4% of the time, we do not see positions this large. Obviously, shout out to Spot Gamma for this data, but more importantly, not long ago, Spot Gamma had a very, very interesting write-up and article on the concept of seek and destroy of those positions and how it's become a much more predictable phenomena recently of when people are seeing these levels of markets trying to test those plays, because there's interesting forces at work when they're getting tested. And the best example of that would actually be yesterday, where we had the opposite trade. Instead of a call credit spread, it was down here, it was a put credit spread. And it took until 1:30 yesterday. We traded all the way down into the put credit spread, found that support, and then we bounced off of it. So like I said, kind of that search and destroy type of like reasoning or mechanism. But anyway, NVIDIA is ripping. Is that a new all-time high? Almost. It's about to hit a new all-time high. It's about 40-ish cents away. So the biggest stock in the world, largest publicly traded by market cap, is about to become that much bigger. AVGO, nice technical breakout. I'd be looking from a technical perspective. Your next level is 360. Oracle, same situation. Got its upside gap fill. CoreWeave, similar situation. It does have a downside gap fill. CoreWeave, you could kind of watch 163 at this point. SOFI almost got going today. I'm really looking for that test of 30. Today got smacked at 29.80. So 20 cents off that psychological level. So paying very, very close attention to that. Tesla almost got going today, trying to put in a higher low. As of now, smacked on the day. Microsoft, similar situation, try to get going, but still technically an inside day. Palantir, inside day. AMD, little bit toppy after hitting an all-time high yesterday, but overall the bulls still very clearly in control. Apple not doing much. Coin also popping, getting wicked. Hood knocking on the door of an all-time high. Hut looking really good. Oklo, holy crap. Oklo up 10.8%. Congrats if you played that. I definitely got out of that one a little bit too early. Oklo, wow. Netflix, look at that pop. Not long ago, trading at 1,133, all the way back to 1,244. That is a what percent bounce at the extreme? A 10% bounce. Wow. Meta trying to recover, did put in that lower high, put in a lower low. Let's see if it can get above this 50 EMA. Rigetti, new all-time high, not much of a follow-through. Qubits, looks like a bit of consolidation. IONQ, same thing. They just had an offering. That was the big fundamental news on IONQ. They did a $2 billion offering, I believe. Something like that. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. Vol, slightly elevated, but pretty much zero. All right, trendline break on the SPY and the Qs as of right now has failed, and we are now pushing on the bottom end. The SPY actually just cracked it. We are pushing on the bottom end of that data report, and we just got a bit hit there. All right, so as of now, from 9:47 to this moment, we ran to the new all-time high on the SPY, and since then, that's exactly when people started taking their profits. You could see it here. I'm not even talking about the data report. I'm talking about the peak in the 0 DTE call delta, peaked at that SPY all-time high at 9:47. We had profit taking, tried to pop, 10 a.m. report, market didn't like it, got hit again, try to stabilize, and then we just waterfalled right now, starting at 10:13. You see the calls dumped and the puts dumped. This is call selling, this is put buying. Is it selling to open, selling to close, buying to open, buying to close? I'll tell you better at the end of the day. You have to wait for the data to settle, but what you can do is just see the influence of we're losing positive delta and we're adding negative delta. And the other thing that I'd want to point out on this chart is that it's all 0 DTE. We are not seeing a difference between the 0 DTE line and the all expiration. We are not seeing a difference between the 0 DTE and the all expiration, as in the movement today is pretty much all 0 DTE trading, which is definitely a bit more whippy and volatile than anything else. Definitely a bit more whippy and volatile. So let's see. The Qs are basically at their high from yesterday, which is not far away from the all-time high. So what we hit on the Nasdaq this morning is a new record high on both the Qs and on NDX. On SPY, we hit a new high, but we did not hit a new high right here. You can see we slightly undershot it. On SPX, we got as high as 6762.4 right here at 947, and the all-time high was 2 points higher. I do want to let you know, clearly, we've been battling it out at 50, but right now we just got knocked into the transition zone. I believe someone in chat was referring to this one a little bit earlier today. There is good statistical odds of hitting the closing value. I don't necessarily love that play. I like the play better if it's a true gap, but with respect to hitting the closing value from yesterday, we got pretty close. We closed at 735, and just now we dipped to 41. So it's off by 6 points, but what I care about is the battle at 50. The longer we stay above 50, the bulls are in control on a 0 DTE basis. On a larger basis, the bulls are evidently in control until we give up like probably 6,680, something like that. On a 0 DTE basis, The longer we stay above 50, bulls, nice. The lower we stay below 50, well, we might just get sucked into this positive gamma zone and not really move much today. You can see there's a bunch of positive gamma right here. Right here. I'm talking about this this very evident purple block. That's a lot of positive gamma. That's going to be a sticky price zone. So not necessarily bearish by any means. Like, it would be bearish relative to where we are right now, but it would kind of actually make the trading session a bit boring because we might just get absorbed into this and not really move on the day. So obviously, it would just not be that fun of a day, but we'll see if there's a recovery. I would love a recapture of 50 because then I just want to see that new high. I want to see that new high, and you could check this out as well. So I'd be paying close attention to the high that we saw at 1013. At this point, that might be a shift because it's undeniable on a 1 minute time frame. And remember, trend, whether bullish or bearish, is very specific to the time you're looking at. So if you're on the 1 minute, we started off bullish, now we're bearish. How are we defining that? We went from higher highs and higher lows to lower highs and lower lows. By definition, that is from bullish to bearish. That's evident on the 1 minute. If you're looking at the 4 hour, you're going to have a different opinion because we're looking at the highs and the lows relative to that time frame. So we went from bullish to about 948, then it went bearish, and we almost recovered after that 10 a.m. announcement. A little bit of a fake out. This is that classic wick lower, and then it takes off anyway. Looking at NQ, same thing. Bullish, we had the higher highs, we had the higher lows, then it switched. And now the question is, what's the next phase going to be? And from the next phase, how big is that trend going to be? You never really know when any of this stuff is going to happen, not happen, any of that. So you just kind of have to be ready, and that's generally why I set up these trend lines. But I would say getting above the 1013 high for both SPX and for NDX is going to be a nice win. I'm looking at this 1013 high. No surprise that high is exactly that pre-market high. People must have been using that as like a major pivot level. Here's a look at the flow. The Mag 7 up, down, flat, not really doing anything. SPY up, down, flat, then a big hit, and now a big pop. Over the past, how many weeks, we're seeing a lot of shakeouts in the first half hour, the first hour, a lot of reversals, a lot of whipsaw. And I've always been a proponent of not trading that early in the day. Big proponent of that. And I think this environment really drives home that fact that we're kind of getting more clarity in the market and quote unquote easier trends to follow after 10:30, after 10:15. So it's okay to chill. You don't need to be rushing any of this. NQ just is testing this trend line right now. So maybe we're switching. All I can tell you is we started off bullish, it became bearish, and now maybe, your confirmation, you would start by breaking the previous high. The previous high is at 1013, and then you wait for the next low, and the next low would have to be above this 1018 low. And then you could say, okay, yeah, we went from bullish to bearish back to bullish. So right now we're kind of in that, technically it's still bearish. It becomes questionable when we get above this 1013 high, which I think we're going to do just because I could see a normal target there. But we'll see. You would want to see this flow. See how the Mag 7 just started picking up? You'd want to see that dramatically continue. And really the big win more than the NASDAQ would be the S&P 500 sitting above 6750. Obviously, we popped above it. We found support. We popped above it. It got hit down. We popped above it. Pretty range bound. Then we got a flush from 1013 to 1017, 1018. There was 5 minutes of the market getting hit. The question now is, will this turn into resistance, or is there enough bullishness to actually get us above it? I don't know who's going to win 6750. No one on this planet can tell you who's going to win because, once again, it's dependent on people who are about to trade. And unless you know what everyone collectively is about to do, you don't know. All I can tell you is watch this level. If we have support there, great, you have upside. If you have a rejection there, great, risk the recent high and try to play it down to 35. We don't need to overcomplicate these things by any means. By any means. AVGO is looking decent. I like the higher low on AVGO. NVIDIA is looking incredibly strong. I kind of wish I had an NVIDIA position, but I have enough exposure via AVGO. Oracle's looking good. CoreWeave losing its steam. SOFI maybe trying to bounce. It did overshoot this recent low. Tesla, I need that to get going. Microsoft's not really doing anything. Palantir's not really doing anything. AMD did take a hit. Apple popped, going flat now. So it seems as if at this moment, the exciting things are NVIDIA, Broadcom, and Oracle. Those are the three that, even though the market's taking a little bit of a hit, they're showing quite a bit of strength. And then I don't know, is Oklo still going? Oklo's still going, and Hut. Okay, so I would say Oklo's looking really interesting, NVIDIA's looking interesting, Broadcom's looking interesting, and Oracle's looking interesting. I have a position on the final two, AVGO and Oracle, not Oklo or NVIDIA. I definitely missed out on those. SPX alert. Okay, SPX just had its own trend line. Let's see if it can actually get above 50. This is the test. This is what active trading is. This is what day trading is. This is what scalp trading is. You identify the key levels, and then you sit there and you patiently pay attention to see who wins the fight. Will the bulls win this fight, or will the bears win this fight? I don't know. I don't know. We're just going to watch flow. If the flow keeps picking up, yeah, the bulls were probably going to win it. Maybe we just had a little bit of a dip here till 10:20 and that was it. That's totally possible. Totally possible. All right, as we're waiting to see who does or doesn't win this fight right here, reminder, we're doing a Payday Friday giveaway. We're giving away 10 prop accounts, 5 from Apex, 5 from Vanquish. Apex is for futures, Vanquish is for options. You can read the deals if you want to use that code Goonie to buy yourself one. Remember, code Goonie, 80% off the evals on Apex, and on Vanquish, that code Goonie will get you 50% off and 1 free reset. It's all above my head right now. This is free for everyone to enter. Like, retweet, and follow. It is free for everyone. Just go to Twitter. It's pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. Like, retweet, follow. We're going to be doing it in a couple minutes here. And all the 5 winners from Apex, the 5 winners from Vanquish, then we're going to put you all in a giant marble race. And the winner of that is going to be getting some cold, hard cash. So just wanted to call that out as we are waiting to see, does this 50 break hold? Does the 50 break hold? What time are we in right now? Can Icarus still trade right now? No. Icarus is currently turned off. And Icarus can trade again after 10:30. I'm just looking at, for Friday, I data mined the strongest times per day. And as of this moment, this is not a strong period. But in a mere 4 minutes, that tune will change. That tune will change. How'd your NDQ call work out? I'm still in it. And I'm up $15,000, I guess. Thanks for asking. I don't know. I feel like right now there's like a sense that people are trying to do like the whole gotcha thing, but I mean, who's it working for? I'm confused. How did it work out? Well, it's not technically over, and I'm up a lot of money is the answer. I don't like it's almost becoming weird for me because you guys are like, oh, dude, we fucking got Kohrs now. We got them now. And then you're putting me in this position where I'm like, okay, I want to be transparent, but I'm up 15 grand. 15 grand is the answer, but it's still live. It could go higher. It could go lower. But there's this like weird effort to be like, oh, we're fucking dunking on them. And then it makes me feel weird because to show you guys it's up. So I don't know, up a lot of money is the answer. That's the direct and evident answer. But once again, it's live. So it could end red. It could end horribly red. But also on the flip side, if the market rips today, it could get even more green. I don't know. So it's this idea of it's just unrealized. I don't want to count my chickens before they're hatched. And obviously, I'm watching this level with all of you. I know this is an intraday level, but in terms of my swing trades and also just getting an understanding of the strength of the market, I very much care about 50 being held, and I want to see this break out of 60. Attempt 1 was failed. As of now, it appears... Yeah, that's still there. You have people are targeting 65, and then the battle becomes 85. It's that simple. If the bulls keep this going, if we can hold 50 in the bull case, it's an if-then statement. If this happens, then we're looking for that. If the bull camp can hold 50, we're then looking for 60, 65, which is pretty much the all-time high. It's pretty much where we got rejected today. If the bulls win that battle, then you're talking about the giant call credit spread up at 6,785. If the bulls win that battle, then you're talking about 6,800. So in succession, that would be the bull case scenario. The flip side, if the bulls do not hold this, well, you're looking for a push down to the closing value at 6,735. So if the bulls do not win here, i.e. if the bears win here, you're then looking for 6,735. Below that, you're looking for 6,725. And below that, you are looking for the low from pretty much the last two trading sessions. And in the event that we really start to plummet, then you're looking for 6,700 flat. I believe as a day trader, as a scalp trader, it's always good in the short term to know what the bull case and the bear case is. Just because you know each case doesn't necessarily mean that you're trading both cases. It just gives you an idea of like how you might want to react, this, that, the other thing. So literally every single day, I'm going to write down and pay attention to both the bull and bear case. That doesn't mean I'm playing both. Obviously, I'm playing the bull case, and I'm hopeful for the bull case. But remember, the market doesn't operate on hope. But what I do want to point out, just from a what trend are we in type of a question, we were bullish up until 947. We had higher highs and higher lows. Then we had profit taking at this giant positive gamma level. And then we went lower highs and lower lows. And then all of a sudden we're focusing on this low at 1017 because the next pop, this pop we just made at 1027 did at least tie these recent highs right here. So now we're at this point where we have equal highs and we're wondering, is it a shoulder, head, shoulder? Is this low going to be higher than this previous low? And that would be confirmed on the breakout of this 1027 high. From there, I would say if we break this 1027 high, especially if we break this 10 a.m. high right here, I would be confident in saying that, oh, the trend has now reversed. We went from bullish to bearish back to bullish. So my confirmation would be on a break of 6755. Which would be the high in this entire period. So obviously I'm using the 1 minute chart as an example, but you could apply the same mindset to whatever time frame you care about. By no means saying that the 1 minute time frame is the best. In fact, I would actually argue that the shorter your time frame, the weaker it is. So I'm by no means saying you should be trading off the 1 minute chart, but it just so happens that the setup here I think is a good teaching opportunity. But anyway, that's what's going on. Shoulder, head, shoulder. We would get confirmation of that. The snap of the neckline, you're looking at 54, you're looking at 55. Setting up a tist of 60 to 65, followed by, well, really, I should move this up now because it's changed. It's moved up to 85. So let me update that. This is no longer, oh, we don't need this one. And we're going to move this one down to 85. So throughout the trades today, the gamma structure has shifted a little bit. And we're just waiting. You see the NASDAQ keeps knocking on the door this pre-market high at 355. As of right now, we haven't gotten that breakout. As of right now on SPX, we're just battling that at 50. So both are in a state of equilibrium, and we're just not seeing much movement in price. The Mag 7 just caught a big bid, though. What was that? Was it AMD? No. Was it Apple? No. Was it AVGO? No. Was it Coin? No. Was it Hood? No. Was it Microsoft? No. Was it MicroStrategy? A little bit, but no. Meta? No. Netflix? No. NVIDIA? It was NVIDIA. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Which Mag 7 play just got a big pop at 1025? It goes by the ticker NVDA. Oracle? No, but it's trending hard. Palantir? No, but it's trending hard. Tesla? A little bit. It was a bit earlier, but overall the trend has not been good today. But this Mag 7 pop right here at 1025 was basically the biggest stock, just got a bit bigger, folks. There's some bullish bets rolling into NVIDIA. Look at that. And it's calls for today too. Interesting. I thought it was just going to be the orange line, calls for later out. But no, that pop in NVIDIA, it's specifically expiring today. Interesting. Right at 1025, someone splashed the pot. Interesting. Well, look at NVIDIA, just rip it. Oracle's ripping it too. Oklo's ripping it too. These are the four that seem very interesting today. Oklo, NVIDIA, AVGO, and Oracle. SOFI is also having a decent day. We'll move SOFI up. Where was SOFI? Right here. All right, so Oklo, great day. NVIDIA, great day. AVGO was having good. Let's see if it bases there. Oracle, good day. SOFI was having a good day. Maybe it could recover. It looks... SOFI and Tesla look exactly the same. Microsoft was good, started to get hit. Palantir's flat. AMD's flat. Apple's flat. Coin is getting hit. Hood is getting hit. All right, so let's cut this list. It's now Oklo, NVIDIA, Oracle, and then maybe AVGO if it can catch another bid. If AVGO can push 350, then it becomes exciting. But for now, Oklo, NVIDIA, and Oracle seems to be where the bulls are currently at. Oracle is really going. And I do, finally, my Oracle position is working, up about 39% unrealized, about 6.3K on that one. So I do have Oracle. I don't have NVIDIA. I have no Oklo, I have no NVIDIA, I do have Oracle, I do have AVGO, I do have SOFI, no CoreWeave, I do have Tesla, I do have Microsoft, no Palantir, no AMD, no Apple, no Coin, no Hood. Just checking the list. Just checking the list. Well, I guess we can start this giveaway. I'm going to set up some breakouts and breakdowns just in case shit gets crazy while we are racing some marbles here. All right. We're just setting up some alerts, but as of now, we're kind of getting trapped in the black hole of positive gamma. We're getting sucked into the gravitational force of all this positive gamma, so we just have to wait to see if it's going to break or not. But unfortunately, we are technically in the choppy zone. Technically, we're on top of it. I would love for the market, if this is a higher low, that's a beautiful higher low, and your confirmation is on the breakout of 55. Wouldn't mind that at all. Okay, where are we at? We're going to do the giveaway. So I'm going to give you guys a couple extra minutes. If you haven't already, right here, all you have to do is like, retweet, and follow. We're giving away 5 Apex accounts. We're giving away 5 Vanquish accounts. And we're going to do a marble race with all 10 people to give away some cold, hard cash to see who's the fastest marble racer in all the land. A little bit of a giveaway. Once again, this is free for everyone. It's pinned to the top of chat. It's in the description of the video. If you have a Twitter account, I'm going to give you an extra 30 seconds to figure it out. If you don't have a Twitter account, I don't know what to tell you. Maybe we'll try to do Instagram or something next week, but we're going to get rocking with that. And just to give you guys a little bit of time, let me get ready with, let's get ready. Let's get the game up and going. I'm trying to stall out to give you guys a little bit of extra time. Price is taking a bit of a hit, not because of the Mag 7, but because of the S&P 500 right there. Someone, they're selling 0 DTE calls in real time right there. Selling it in real time. How much is the real question, though? How much will they sell? All right. We don't need this. Continue. Okay, cool. We got that up and going. Let's do the Twitter picker. All right. Here's the tweet. Close pop up. All right. All right. Winner. All right. We're going to do 5 and then another 5 for the 10. Matt_Kohrs. All right. Let's get some tendies and tunes popping in the background. All the music you guys hear in the intro to get things rocking on the day, it is on Tendies on Tunes. It's in the description of the video. My mom will drop it in chat. But if you want to listen to that music, we put it out there for free for everyone. So check it out. What is the drawdown here? The drawdown. That one's a little bit scary. All right, so I should write these down. I don't want to mess it up like I have in the past. So the first 5 that I'm about to pick the winners for is for, obviously, these 5 will all be in the marble competition, but these are going to be the winners of an Apex account for futures trading. All right, we're rocking. Who's it going to be? We are searching. Uh-oh, did it stall out? Oh, right there. All right. Let me take a screenshot. So these are the Apex winners and also in the competition. So right here. Trippy, Fuzzy, Roberto, Michael, and Rue. All right. So those are all the Apex winners, and you're going to be in the competition. Congrats to you. And we're going to do it again. These are for the Vanquish winners, and obviously also in the competition. Hang on, let me save these. All right, let me take a screenshot here. I just don't want to lose this information. Dude, A1 Perception, I feel like you've won the last 2, or at least been in the competition. I don't think you've won. Maybe you have, I don't know. But you guys, congrats, are all the Vanquish winners. Fat White Dude, that's sad. Hey, it seems like you're at least happy though. All right, so we have our 10 winners. The first 5 right here. Trippy, Fuzzy, Roberto, Michael, and Rue, all winning an Apex account. And then you have Jazz, you have Jay Hundo, you have Mikey, you have Fat White Guy, that's so funny, and A1 Perception, all winning a Vanquish account. And then obviously, let's get you guys all set up for the race here. And nothing is going on in the market, which means that this is a perfect time to do said race. Let's get a song to get us going a little bit more. Hang on, let's get more of a pump up song here. The song this morning I thought was actually pretty awesome. Should we do Alpha Decay was a good one. Chartzilla was a good one. Alpha Decay. It's a good band. Dude, the imagery on this stuff, the boy band pipers, it just cracks me up every single time. All right, anyway, I'm getting distracted. Let's see how we're gonna get this. The race track, random track. We are doing Death Alley. So that seems like it's gonna be brutal, and hopefully we have at least one winner. All right, so let's see if I can memorize downloads. All right, the 5 winners. Nope. Here we go. Okay, so the first one is Trippy, Fuzzy, Roberto, Mike, and Rue. All right, Rue. So those are the first 5. The second group of 5 is Jazz, Jay Hundo, I believe this one is Mikey, Fat White Dude, Fat White Dude, and then A1. All right, finish. Fat White Dude. Oh God. All right, hang on. Let me turn. Hang on. Let's move the music over here for a second. Here's a quick. Ooh, market's not looking the best at the moment. All right. Before we get rocking, who are you guys voting for? If you had to bet, who do you think has trained enough and is ready for this race? I have to admit, I like the name of Fat White Dude. I really, really do. I'm based on name alone, which is actually how I bet on horses. I'm feeling it for Fat White Dude. But I also want to remind you guys that we are racing on Death Alley. So maybe that's going to change things. Maybe it's not going to change things. I'm not 100% sure. But Fat White Dude, what a name. What a name. I think, Matt, you think I'm Fat White Dude? No, I actually can't even use these coupon codes myself, but I would like the dopamine hit of winning these races. That would be nice. All right, let's get into it. Let's see what Death Alley really has in store for us. And let's see. All right, we have a rock mix here. Hang on. Oh, that's going to be a good song. Yeah, let's turn this volume up a little bit. All right, we have our 10 racers from the land of the interwebs, and this is a winner-takes-all type of a situation. Prison rules, as in there are no rules. The only rule is past the finish line all the way down there. the first person to get into the finisher's box will be the winner of the cold hard cash. Ladies and gentlemen, and everything in between, start your engines because we are going in 3, 2, 1. Who's going to get the first drop? Here we go. Here we go. We are on Death Alley, and judging from the name, I do not believe all 10 are going to be making it. Rue getting the first move. Will Rue catch the speed up? Yes. Rue. Whoa, dodging everything. Rue. All right. First jungle gym, but Trippy is right there. A1, Jazz, Mike, Roberto. All right. Trippy. Ooh, Rue going to the right and avoiding the final ones and catching the speed up, dodging it, catching the third speed up. Rue. All right. Right back into the metal jungle gym. Will Rue have enough strength to get through? A1's there. Fat white dude. Fat white dude. Fat white dude. Fat white dude. Jay Hundo taking the lead. Fat white dude in second in hot pursuit. He moves quickly for a fat guy. Fat white dude in the lead. Rue right there. Ooh, this is going to come down to the Rue. Going to catch the speed up. Rue did catch the speed up. Fat white dude is in hot fat white dude pursuit. Rue ripping through the jungle gym. Uh-oh. Rue catching the next speed up, but almost got knocked off the map. You got to be careful there. Rue catching the next. How are we doing? Fuzzy is in second, but just got... Uh-oh, fat white dude. Fuzzy passing fat white dude. Rue is in the lead. Fuzzy right there. Rue, will you be able to keep the lead? Tell me about the grit. Tell me about... We're in the final stretch here. Will Fuzzy be able to make a comeback? Fuzzy, A1, shooting up. Rue. Uh-oh. Can Rue survive? We have a couple more. Trippy just died. Roberto died. Mikey died. Rue, are you going to get the drop? A1. Rue, leading the race most of the time and a dominant finish. A1, second place. Fuzzy passing Jazz at the last second to get that bronze medal. Wow, what a race. Rue, that's a dominant performance. That is one dominant performance. Rue, A1, Fuzzy, Jazz, Fat White Dude getting fifth, and then Mike and Jay Hundo finishing it up. And you got, Mike and Jay Hundo just died at the end. That's a tough one. They didn't even survive. Anyway, massive congrats to Rue and massive congrats to all the racers there. Come on, let's a little bit of a round of applause. That was Death Alley. You don't say. Death Alley. That's in. We lost over half of it. Jay Hundo and Mike at the end there, they're like, all right, we lost. We're just trying to get to the finish, and they got yeeted off the map. Anyway, congrats to all the winners, whether you won an Apex account, whether you won a Vanquish account, whether you Rue and won the whole cold hard cash. And congrats to everyone who, I appreciate you trying to join. We're going to run it back next week and see if maybe we could maybe even make it more marble death. We'll see how it plays out. The spy in the queue is not really doing much at the exact moment, but hey, sometimes that is going to happen. We're back at the 50. Just watch that. Yeah, NQ right there. We're back at the 50. How's this going to play out? There's a higher low. Are we getting the shoulder, head, shoulder? Shoulder, head, shoulder. Look for the snap of the neckline. Oracle's looking good. NVIDIA's looking good. Oklow's looking good. So the three that have been looking good are still looking good. SOFI maybe trying to pick it up. AVGO maybe trying to pick it up. CoreWeave maybe trying to pick it up. Tesla starting to actually pick it up. Opportunity. Well, once again, we're going to run it back Friday. Thank you to everyone who retweeted, and followed, and played this game. Remember, you could use that code Goonie for the fat discount of 80% on Apex. And with respect to Vanquish, you could use code Goonie for 50% off and a free reset. So code Goonie on both of these will help out quite a bit. Rigetti. Where are you? Where's RGTI? Oh, new high. Rigetti is pushing. I have no play on Rigetti, but if you do, congrats to you because it is looking pretty good at the moment. Tesla's picking up. Oracle's picking up. NVIDIA's looking strong. We have some opportunity over here. Oklo, NVIDIA, Oracle, AVGO, Tesla, SOFI. We have some movers. Not everything's moving. I wish Microsoft would pick up, honestly. Apple going green. Hood looking a little weak today, but really not that far from the all-time high. And what's going on is the bulls are trying to really muster up enough strength to get these breakouts. The delta flow is turning around. We have a potential double bottom in price and in delta flow, picking up ever since 1041, which, remember, the next strong period of the day. What time is it? 11 is a strong period. 11:30 is a strong period. And then from there, it kind of gets late into the afternoon where we have more strong periods. So just something to consider. Something to consider. So if you're a winner, I'll be reaching out to you at some point today. Rue, I'll really be reaching out to you to send you that money that you won. But hey, this is what Payday Fridays are all about. It's all about finding the fastest marble racer in all the land. It really is. Part of me wants to do a marble race where we have all of the previous marble race winners, like almost like a Champions League, and see who wins that. That's where I'd really be interested in. Like, who would be the winner of winners? How would we do a massive bracket? How would we pull that off? Is that possible on YouTube chat? I don't think it is on Rumble chat. But could we do a massive competition? Like a gigantic one, just like across the entire gambit? I like to think I'm a winner. Liam, you are a winner. Dude, I'm stoked about this Oracle push. Oracle is SOFI are looking really good for me. So on SOFI, I'm up 106%, almost 16,000. And then on Oracle, I am up 43%, up 7,000. So I am by no means minding this pump on Oracle. And in reality, I should probably figure out where the next gamma levels are at on this hot mama jama. On this hot mama jama. Oracle. What are we trading at on Oracle? We are trading at 306. 315 is the target. 315 is the evident target, and 300 is the support. Which means I need to... Well, I have an alert at 312, and that's at 325. What did I say? 315? Add an alert. We'll do 314.99. All right, setting an alert there. On SOFI, I might as well bring this up just in case you're in it, but it is $30. You have support at 28. Oh, it's actually, yeah, it's still 30. You have support at, so 29 might be a bit of a fight, but then you could talk about 30, and then you could talk about 32. So SOFI, where's SOFI? SOFI. So 29, you want this to hold. 30, we'll add an alert, and 32, we'll add an alert. All right. I assume some of you are watching NVIDIA, so we might as well look at the levels there to see what people are playing, what they're not playing. NVIDIA currently trading at 195. You're literally at this giant positive gamma node, and then from there you might see a flush to 200 to 205, but like it's at the level. It's right now perfectly at this giant positive gamma node. So if it gets over it, that means you have some support pretty close by, but also that's probably going to be quite the battle. I'm surprised that this node actually isn't at 200. I would think just from a psychology standpoint, a lot of people wanted to play 200, but I guess that is not true as of today. And what I kind of alluded to before, we're just range bound in the overall market. The SPY and the Qs are not trending in any real direction. So maybe we get a lunchtime, maybe we get an afternoon trend. But as of right now, I mean, I even said this at the start of the stream. I didn't want there to be a random pump at the start of the day and then we just go sideways and then it ends up becoming a bust of a day, as in just like no real trend. And as of now, that's what we're seeing. We saw a pump, we saw profit taking, we saw some bearish bets, and now we are just getting basically pegged to the stop of the transition zone. So you just have to wait. Is the market closed on Monday? It is not. If you ever want to see the market closures, go to the New York Stock Exchange. Just search NYSE holidays. It used to be a holiday, but it is no longer. So here in 2025, the last holiday was September 1st. The next one is Thursday, November 27th. So we used to have Columbus Day or Indigenous People Day or whatever you want to call it. That used to be a market holiday. It is no longer. It actually got switched out with the Juneteenth holiday. So this used to not be a market holiday. It is now a market holiday. Columbus Day used to be a market holiday. It is no longer a market holiday. And I believe that switch came from Biden, but I'm not 100% sure on that one. I know it was like somewhat of a recent switch, but no, the market is very fully open on Monday. Very fully open on Monday. And if you need this, once again, just search NYSE holidays and you could find this just quick resource and see what in the world is going on or not going on. Other than that, we're kind of you got to wait. I have my alert set up. I'm going to use my breakdown alert. I'm going to move it up a little bit higher. I'm right now wondering, are we finally switching? Because we had higher highs and higher lows, lower highs and lower lows. We put in a higher low right here. You have this low at 1017. You have this low at 1042. That is a higher low. Okay, the bulls are buying it more aggressively. They're buying it at a higher price. Is there enough aggression to push us above? That's what I'm looking for. I love that we're holding 50. I'm looking for the breakout of 55. That's what I'm looking at. What else? Oracle's looking good. How's that APLD one going? APLD? You guys were talking about that today. Profit taking, I guess. It's up a lot of a percentage, but intraday it looks kind of shitty. It closed out at whatever 29. It's currently trading at 36. So relative to then, it's good. But from market open till now, if you bought at market open, you're actually down. So just not my play. I'm not saying it's good or bad. Well, right now I wouldn't trade it at all. If I had to, I don't think there's a play. Dude, Oklo, 13.9%, 14%. Oklo is a monster. NVIDIA 1.5, Oracle 3.3 and climbing. SOFI 2.3 and potentially turning around. CoreWeave catching a bit of a bid too, 4%. AVGO trying to hold that 50 EMA. Tesla is looking good, 440. I want to see that 443 breakout. Microsoft catching a little bit of a bid. Palantir, nothing. AMD taking a hit. It's probably just because it's up so much though. Apple taking a bit of a hit. Coin taking a bit of a hit, Hood taking a bit of a hit, Hut catching a bid, Netflix catching a bid, Meta doing nothing, ROM doing nothing. Open got hit, catching a bid now. Rigetti, new all-time high. Qubits got hit, trying to bounce. IONQ got hit. This was this pre-market move was because of an offering. MicroStrategy, nothing. BITX looking a little weak. Ripple looking a little weak. Nothing there on Solana, nothing on Texas Roadhouse. Gold's chilling at 4,000. Oil's taking a hit down to 60, getting a little bit of a pop right now, but obviously trending down. So that's the skinny on the situation. Mag 7 flow, ever since 951, it's been an ugly trend, but it is trending to the upside on the Mag 7. S&P 500 has been absurdly ugly. Pop, drop, big drop, decent pop, a drop again. Are we recovering? So the S&P 500 flow, very ugly. The Mag 7 flow, kind of ugly, but you could see a little bit more of an evident trend. But I am loving Oracle. Dude, I'm going to be run. Whoa. What just happened? Folks, first one to tell me the news wins the prize. What the fuck just happened? And it's still going. What's the news? What in the hell is the news? I'm not seeing it. What the fuck just happened? Does anyone have any news on this? Trump said China is becoming hostile. What the fuck is that overreaction? Trump said China is becoming hostile. Where is he doing a live stream? Like, where is this? Where is this? China been hostile. China. Is it on True Social? Where did you see this? Right here. Oh, Jesus. We got a long one. We got a long one. Some very strange things are happening in China. They're becoming very hostile and sending letters to countries throughout the world that they want to impose extra controls on each and every element of production having to do with rare earths and virtually anything else we can think of. Even if it's not manufactured in China, nobody has ever seen anything like this, but essentially it would clog the markets and make life difficult for virtually every country in the world, especially for China. We have been contacted by other countries who are extremely angry at this great trade hostility, which came out of nowhere. Our relationship with China over the past 6 months has been a very good one, thereby making this move on trade on even a more surprising one. I've always felt that they've been lying in wait, and now, as usual, I've been proving right. There's no way China would be allowed to hold the world captive, but that seems to have been their plan for quite some time. Jeez, look, it just keeps going. It just keeps going. Where were we? Other elements, rather sinister, hostile move to say the least. But the U.S. has monopoly positions also much stronger and more far-reaching than China's. I have also not chosen to use them. There was never been a reason. Jesus. What's the main point? Ultimately, though potentially painful, it will be a very good thing in the end for the U.S. Wait. Will be forced. What the fuck? Chinese products come to the U.S. of America. There are many other countermeasures that are likewise under serious consideration. Thank you. The Chinese letters were especially inappropriate in this day that left 3,000 years of bedlam and fighting in the peace of the Middle East. I wonder if that timing was coincidental. Dependent on what China says about the hostile order that they have just put out, I will be forced as President of the United States to financially counter their move. For every element that they have been able to monopolize, we have too. I never thought it would come to this, but perhaps as with all things, the time has come. Ultimately, though potentially painful, it has been a very good thing in the end for the U.S. One of the policies that we are calculating at this moment is a massive increase of tariffs on Chinese products coming into the U.S. That's it. Right there. This is right here. This is why the market got ripped. One of the policies that we are calculating at this moment is a massive increase of tariffs on Chinese products coming into the U.S., and the market is just dumping. Fuck. Well, folks, right here we have some breaking news. Trump calculating increased tariffs on Chinese products. This kind of shows you why the nature of trading is 50-50, because at any random moment, you get updates like that. Any random moment. This is not technicals. This is not reading options. Yeah, maybe you get an idea of where things might revert, but this is why I'm so sick and tired of people trying to sell models telling you they can predict what's going to happen, because there's no way you could predict what just happened. It's dumb as fuck. These people, man, I'm so sick and tired of people trying to tell you they have models and frameworks. Dude, it's all a game of just risk and reward. You set your risk, you set your reward, and you hope your reward is hit before your risk, because you can never, ever, ever anticipate what's going on. You can never anticipate this. And as crazy as this is, it could so easily bounce back, because people could be like, oh, actually, no. Like Trump, so the market right now, all the bots are reacting to this one line right here, a massive increase. We are calculating at this. He's not saying that we are going to do it. But China could respond and be like, oh no, like we're not doing that. And then Trump could say, yeah, no, the tariffs are off the table. And then we popped again. So this is just like, it's a threat, but it's not actual action. And you're seeing the bots react to it very quickly. Hence why we sold off from 73 all the way down to 65, an $8 sell-off. Jesus. Wow. We went from 6,750 all the way down to 6,680. And it took 6 minutes. I'm hoping for a recapture of 6,700 because to me that's stability. But if we stay below 6,680, that is just not good. Calculating increased tariffs. Yeah, Chinese letters were especially inappropriate, have to be contacted. Dude, this is just a Trump thing. This is also why day trading is stupid. Did we dump on a dumb tweet? Technically, it was a dumb true social. Not a dumb tweet, but it was very much a dumb true social update. And it's brutal because a lot of people blown out by that. Icarus actually caught that short somehow. I believe Icarus caught it short. Yeah, it did. Huh. Well, that was lucky. Lucky I had Icarus on. Wow. What a clusterfuck. What a clusterfuck. I mean, now the name of the game has really changed today. Will buyers protect this area? 6,700. The bulls, I would say, still in control if we get above and can hold this. But if we don't hold 80, I mean, you're talking 50, you're talking 6,600. So this region right here is going to be massively important. But just so you guys know, this all happened because of Trump's Truth Social, and right away the bots reacted to it. You can see instantaneously they sold calls and bought puts. This is not, I mean, maybe a little bit later, that's humans reacting to it, but the initial thing is just natural language processing. And you could see instantaneously they interpreted it to have negative connotation. They sold calls, they bought puts, it vomited. It's all 0 DTE. That's crazy. That's wild. So this is my watch here. Do we hold 6,700? Do we hold 6,680? Can we bounce there? Do we get this V-shaped recovery? Or is this actually going to be detrimental? Time will tell. Time will tell. If we start to bounce out of here, 6,700, I might add to my swing, my bullish swing positions. If we start to break down from here, I'll probably cut my bullish swing position. So I'm going to let the market decide what to do because this is like a major level of support for me. Bots should be illegal. The bots always win while the humans get... No, I don't think bots should be illegal. Why would I? It's just a tool. Like, if you're going to bitch and moan that people are faster than you at trading, I don't know. Learn how to be a faster trader. You can't complain that people are just like more skillful at trading. Whatever. And not all, you have to understand, it's not like all the bots agree to do the same thing. The bots are generally fighting other bots. So it like then becomes a battle of that. But I just don't think it's good at anywhere in life to be blaming others. To be like, I don't have success or what I want because of X, Y, Z. Dude, if all of a sudden you're blaming others, that inherently means that you can't fix it yourself. You have to take ownership. Their bots trade in milliseconds, can't read that fast. Okay, so it's also intraday trading. Get better at swing trading. Play it appropriately where you, for example, I don't have a bot that can read it that fast, and yet I caught the short because of how my bots are set up. And my bots are way slower than the bots that caused that sell-off. So like, it's just, I don't know. I guess I'm tired of people complaining and blaming others. Because if you're of that mindset, well, first of all, you sound like a bitchy, whiny girl. But then don't trade. If you think it's that bad, move on. Don't be a trader. No one's forcing you to be a trader. Yeah, Matt, I know. I just mad. I got shook out. What, dude? That no crying in the casino. Dude, all these fucking babies. I don't get what's going on with the internet recently of everyone crying about everything. Does it suck? Yeah. But I'm so sick and tired of this mindset of when it goes well and you make money, it's deserved. And when it doesn't go well, it's like bullshit, this, that, the other. You're playing as a day trader, as a scalp trader, you are playing a 50-50 game. If you don't want to play it, no one is forcing to you. There's no crying in the casino. And this concept of this concept of blaming others is like the saddest thing ever. It's so silly. Take ownership. Be a better trader. And if you can't be a better trader, don't trade. Move on with your life. I'm not a baby. I got checked out, but made 30K in 2 weeks. You are a baby because you're complaining about this. Oh, bots should be illegal. That's complaining. You are a baby. 100%. You're pissy, throwing a tantrum because you can't develop bots. No one is stopping you. As much as other people have developed bots to trade in the market, you can develop bots to trade in the market. And your response is that they should be illegal because you don't want to put in the time or effort to do it. Sorry, other people take the game more seriously. Like, Jesus Christ, people. It always comes back to the saying, there's no crying in the casino. No one is forcing you to be here. If you don't want to be in the casino, if you don't want to be a trader, don't be a trader. Move the fuck on. But if you want to do this, and then when you're complaining that there's other people doing it, that's crazy. You just have to grow up. You have to have more emotional fortitude than a fucking middle school girl. 18K account drop in seconds. It sucks. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with like some of the negative playouts sucking. I mean, I've even showed you guys when data is slow and I take a hit and like it right away, you're like, oh, fuck, that sucks. I don't disagree with the fact that it can definitely suck. But remember, there's always two sides to like the coin here. First of all, for other people, it was amazing. I bet you there were 0 DTE put buyers who they're like, this is the best drop ever. And they just made whatever, 20, 30, 40 grand in a couple minutes. So first of all, there's two sides to it here. And second of all, yes, crappy things can happen, but it is very unhealthy to blame others. Ask yourself, how could you have been better? So unfortunately, you took a hit and that sucks. It's an 18K hit. How could you have had better stop losses? Should you have had smaller sizing to avoid things like this because it happens in the market? This concept of continually blaming others and being like, nope, that's them. It means you're taking no self-ownership, which means in the future, when it inevitably happens again, the same thing's going to happen to you. You always have to protect yourself and you have to learn from it. And most importantly, you have to take self-ownership. This idea of you don't like how it played out and you're going to bitch and moan and like blame other people, just grow up. Grow up, grow up. Grow up, grow up. And actually what I'm going to do here is, where is this one position? Why the fuck is this trading so erratically? What's the flow looking like right now? Wow, that's brutal. You know, we had a good stretch with no Trump headlines. I'm wondering which way this range is going to break. If we start to break to the upside, I'm strongly considering adding to my position because there's a non-0% chance that we get the classic like V shape and basically people calling a bluff on Trump and thinking that it's not going to be anything too special. So I'm watching this closely, but I'm not only just price, but I'm trying to watch this flow because it does seem the extreme nature of the sell-off has slowed down. I'm not saying it's over, but it looks like we're flattening out a little bit. Same thing here. Flattening out. Flattening out. Watching this. Wow, dude, what a fucking dagger that was. It sucks, but I'm not saying it doesn't suck. Like, I don't want you guys to be like, oh, no, Matt's telling me I should be fine with all of it. No, we've all been there. And when you get clocked by seemingly a random thing, and then when it happens so quickly and maybe you don't have the time to respond, no, it sucks. I do not disagree with that whatsoever. But what I'm saying is you cannot blame others. Because if you're blaming others, that inherently means that others need to fix it. And it means you're not taking ownership, and thus you probably shouldn't be playing this game. However, if you have the mindset of, okay, that sucks, how can I be better prepared in the future? Well, all of a sudden you now have a constructive mindset where you can maybe learn about sizing, or you can learn about stops, or you can write a better system. But this idea of just bitching and moaning, okay, whatever. If you're going to do it, do it. Hang on. But eventually get over it. You have to spend as little time as you can crying about it all. And then when you're done crying about it, you can from there actually try to improve what the fuck is going on. I'm looking for a recovery above. I'm watching the solid red line is the low from yesterday. I'm looking for a recovery on the SPY and the Qs above that. I'm also looking at right here, 700. I'm curious if the bulls are going to accept this or not. There's a reason I had these two levels marked out. How crazy is that? That even in this extreme market reaction, these levels have played out perfectly. It's exactly where we found the bottom, and our first bounce was exactly to this level. Why is that? It's no big brain math or anything like that. It's literally just looking at the gamma levels. You don't have to overcomplicate it. You could see exactly where they're at. It's nothing too special. This is why it was marked out before the market even opened, because there were a lot of players right there. There were a lot of players right here. Where did we sell to? Exactly where those players were, because that's positive gamma offering support, and that's exactly where we found support. So from here, the question is the support going to hold? Will this intraday low actually hold? And are we going to get this V-shaped reversal, or is it going to get absolutely clocked? That's going to be the real question. That's going to be the real question. Dude, we got... Oh, let me clean this up. That is ugly. Holy shit. Wow. Look at that waterfall. Well, if you had a basic trend following bot, you probably just made an absolute killing. And a massive congrats to you on that. A massive congrats to you. Oh, which way? Which way are we going to break? No one knows. Everyone's trying to decipher what the hell this news means or doesn't mean. Hang on one quick second. Where is my copier off? Shit, it is. I was getting ready to break my trading rules. I was getting ready. Haven't done it yet. Q's hitting that. SPY doesn't know if it wants to hold this. Yes, no, maybe so. Yes, no, maybe so. Part of me is wondering, is it appropriate? Oh, I'm torn. I know I wanted to let the bots run the day, but I'm wondering if this actually can bounce. That might be a gnarly trend trade all the way back up. That's what's going through my mind is, are we being presented with a unique opportunity that my bots are not prepared to take if this is a higher low, if we get this breakout? That's what I'm watching. That is 100% what I am watching. All right, we could watch this high. We could watch this high. NVIDIA is now getting hit. Dude, look how quickly that 195 to 191. Oklo doesn't care. Jesus, what a mess. This is one fucking true social. My frustrations are there with you because it increases the difficulty of it. But remember, it all comes down to you have to take ownership. Whenever anything bad happens, this concept of trying to blame others, you have to ask yourself, how could you have been better protective? How could you have played it better? That is inherently always going to be the core question. Qs are still getting hit because tech is taking this dive. Dude, is this going to be one of these things where it just like fucks up the entire day and then over the weekend we just like bounce back? I have a bot, but I do not pay attention since I made a profit this morning. Well, you did what you should have done. You made your money and you moved on. I had 2 puts too. I was down and that saved my shit big time. See, even that's my point of like, it's a double-edged sword, folks. Because as much as people like me had calls, and this is right now, technically it's still all unrealized, you just never know when those types of things are going to happen. You never, ever know. It's not, unless you have like direct contact with the president, it's just not a predictable thing. Wow. How quickly things change. We were here all wondering, okay, is 50 going to hold? Is it not going to hold? Look at that. That was our day of, okay, we're pinned to 50. Are the Bulls going to win? Or the Bears going to win? In 1 minute, we dropped from 51 to 36. In the next minute, we skipped and we went from 33 all the way down to 14. And the next minute, we went from 21 down to 02. And then we went from 13 all the way down to 87. Just one 5-minute bar, I guess a 10-minute bar, 2 10-minute bars, 52 down to 12, 13 down to 79. Brutal, dude. Brutal. A much larger expanse of volatility than anyone anticipated. Welcome to the casino, folks, where shit gets rocked. I know it sounds crazy right now, but there's a non-zero chance that we make a full recovery back up to where we were at 11 or 10:55 or what the start of this sell-off. Obviously, the sell-off, what was the exact minute? It started at 10:57. How crazy is it that like we've been in these situations before where that day it's a full recovery? I know it looks dismal right now, and I don't even have a guess of what the odds of that recovery would be, but just from streaming this stuff with you, it's a non-zero chance. Trump threatens massive tariff hike in China over rare earth disputes. Yeah. And the market is very much reacting to it. Wow. Well, I don't think anyone would have ever anticipated that the dip in the market was coming from the fucking president himself. I really thought that when we finally dipped in the market, it was going to be because it was driven by a big unwinding in like monthly contracts and some roll or something like that. I thought Trump was done with this phase of I'm going to be tweeting out, truth socialing out some crazy fucking shit. But that's why we shouldn't be guessing. October, maybe. Maybe. We just keep going. We're getting this vomit now. Fuck. We're already 20 points below it. 680. All right, now we have to look at other levels of potential support here. There's not much there. There's a little at 50. There's a little at 6620. There's some at 6,600. 6650 is a put wall. It's a longer duration put wall. Snapping 80 is not good. Very, very much not good. The whole market now the whole market's just reacting poorly to it. This breaking is not good. There is some support at 6650. I thought, okay, we have a shot here. At 11.10, I had hope. I was like, okay, we puked down to a key level. We bounced, double bottom. We're shooting up. Okay, I like this higher low. We started to crack here between 11.16 and 11.19. That taking out this low, taking out this 6680, taking out 6680, it's a big deal. It's a big deal. But if it quickly bounces back, all right, changes the story a little. But that's also a giant fucking if of, are we going to quickly bounce back? All right, let's see some of this structure. 6, 7, 6, 7. We cracked that. Okay, so we're kind of watching this support here. There are some targets at 6,600. That would be fucking wild. I very much hope we don't crack this, but you have some targets at 6,600. This is negative gamma. Yeah. You want to be on this, right? So the bulls very much want it above 6,680, preferably above 6,700. As a bear, you want it below 6,680, below 700. So at this point, like on this larger play, Jesus, dude, it is not catching a bid. Holy fuck. Wow. All right, 6,650. If this doesn't hold, there's some plays at 20. There's a lot of plays at 6,600. I would say below this 20-point region, bears have a real shot. Above this 20-point region, the bulls have a real shot. So obviously right now we are below it, but for me personally, the way I view the market, I'm viewing this as the very important key level. Very important key level. Dead cat? Well, thus far, this seemingly was a dead cat, but holy fuck, dude. Not predictable. There's no model in the world that had this in the cards today. Even if they went arbitrarily short, the reason of why they went short had no relation to why the market actually got hit. The market got hit because of an extreme reaction to Trump's True Social right here. One of the policies that we are calculating at this moment is a massive increase on tariffs on Chinese products coming into the United States. There are many other countermeasures likewise under serious consideration. Thank you for your attention on the matter. That's why. So had someone caught this short for whatever their model, I guess, was considering, understand that it was nothing but pure luck that these two things correlated and coincided. Nothing but pure luck. Someone definitely knew. Well, maybe the administration knew. I mean, maybe, I don't know. Obviously, whoever helped them write that True Social knew, but that doesn't necessarily mean they traded it. Any indications of insider trading like way early in their Trump's term? Not that I know of right now. And you really can't know until the market closes, and you have to see how the open interest, the OI, settles up. Because if you generically look at, like, did anyone buy market puts today? Yeah, but also a lot of people bought market calls, and that's true for every single day. When there's billions of dollars of notional value traded every single day, of course, it's easy to isolate someone bought $1 million of puts, but literally on any given day, that is true. So to say that it's somehow uniquely special today is just wrong. Wow, are we ever going to find a fucking bottom here? We clipped 50. Holy shit. Once again, in my humble opinion, this block right here, I'll make it, I don't know, this pinkish block, that doesn't even really pop out, does it? What color is even... No colors really pop out here? Whatever, you see what I'm trying to do. Bulls have a shot above, bears have a shot below. This is on a larger time frame analysis. Obviously, the 0DT stuff, we're in the bear side and we are below 725. But I'm talking from like swing positions. This is the zone you got to care about. if the bulls can recover above 6,700, that tells me that they're going into the weekend still pretty confident that this will blow over. If we end the day below 6,680, that tells me that the bull camp is not confident and the bear camp is confident going into the weekend. And if we're in this zone, well, that's just fucking purgatory. That's just brutal fucking purgatory, and good luck from there. But on SPX, that's the key watch. Bullish above, bearish below, hell within. And I care a lot about where this closes out today. The closing value, are we above or below? I care a lot about that. I would say it become from an intraday technical perspective. What is this high? The 1110 high. I know it seems far away, but if the bulls can take out the 1110 high, I think it might be closer to the V-shaped recovery. That's why I have these marked out. And of course, I have the intraday low marked out, which we're very close to. Also happens to be the overshoot of 6,650. And if this doesn't hold, you're watching 6,620, and then you're watching 6,600. So I'm attempting to not play the bearish position, probably because I'm a bit too biased. And I think this is just intraday bullshit. And I don't mind playing it to the downside on an intraday basis, but I'm not sold on the concept of swing trading that one quite yet. The Mag 7 flow maybe found a bottom. It just popped there, taking a little bit of a hit. S&P 500 also clearly slowing down. So price is still very volatile, but the options flow we're going to have to pay attention and just keep watching it from here. We're right back at that 50. Jesus Christ. We were talking about 6,750 not long ago. We're 100 points lower. Intraday bullshit said everyone on Black Monday. No, we're down 1.3%. I get that it's dramatic, but also have an appreciation for the actual number. Black Monday was like a gigantic percentage, and we're talking about like circuit breaker halts. If you think a 1.3% drop is anything close to Black Monday, come on. Come on. I get...
Target filled.
What the fuck is this? Something... So it hit my profit target. Oh, wait. Profit target. Short entry. What color? What? It took a short, but I think I somehow... Did I lose money on that short somehow? I did, but it went short. Dude, I wonder if I have to turn these things off because it's moving too quickly. Oh, fuck. It's moving too quickly and the data is getting fucked. It went short and I somehow lost money. How the fuck is that possible? And, well, I know how it's possible. It's because of the data thing. So how can I work? Do I need... I was almost thinking maybe the best way to do is a 1-bar pause so then you can see if you're positive or negative. But sometimes you hit your profit target in that first bar. Holy fuck. This is nonstop, team. This is just getting fucked up. 20 and then 6 are these next levels. It's just we're puking to a level, we try to bounce. We puke to a level, we try to bounce. We just keep puking to the next gamma and then it tries to bounce and then it just pukes again. I can't believe I had a short. It's just, like I said, once again, on me, it's just not handling. When things get this crazy, this volatile, the timing of it is off. I don't know how could it be putting in a profit target like in the negative territory based on its entry? Dude, this is just getting fucking clipped. Wow. If you just arbitrarily had puts through this, that's crazy. I can't even imagine what your fucking game. Look at this. Look, holy shit. Fuck me. Look at the size of this compared to fucking everything else going on. Painful. Painful, painful, painful. I think that daily chart tells you it all. Well, we're at another level of support, 6620. And what we've been doing at all these gamma levels is we puke to it, we bounce, and then we puke to the next level. So maybe this is it. Maybe we get another bounce off of 6620, and then we puke to 6,600. 3,000%. Yeah, I can't even imagine what the gains would be looking like on like 0DT puts. I bought UVXY calls right after the first dip. Wow, VIX has to be just ripping right now. Wow. VIX going from 16.5 up to 22. That's congrats. Congrats. That's a degenerate play, but obviously a very profitable play. Tesla's on fire, bro. No shit. The whole market's on fire right now. Look at, what do you mean Tesla's on fire? Fucking everything's on fire. Feeling like a reverse? Maybe. This is what happens when you get tilted into negative gamma. It speeds up. That's what you're seeing is a gamma squeeze to the downside. Gamma squeezes can happen in either direction, and what you're experiencing right now, especially on that snap of 6680, is a gamma squeeze to the downside. A gamma squeeze favoring the bears. Wow. Dude, I know it feels brutal, but there's so many good lessons to take from this. First of all, at any given moment, crazy shit can happen. Any given moment, any wild thing can happen, which is why you have to have stops, because you just don't want to step away from your screen, come back, and then all of a sudden SPX is off by 120 points. Like, as brutal as it feels, these are the days where like you learn some of the most painful lessons that if you carry them forward, you have a real shot at surviving. And once again, no model can predict shit, because you know when random events like this happen, you have to have stops in, and you have to pay attention to these key levels and see where, okay, maybe we react, we try to bounce, nope, it breaks. Maybe we try to react, look at this, we talked about 20. I mean, this has been it. We are puking to all these levels, we bounce, it pukes. We puke to the next level, we bounce, we puke. I told you about 20, the next level from there is 6,600. But look at this daily chart, is fucking horrific. That's so brutally bad. So brutally bad. We're slicing it. We're slicing it. We're slicing it. All right, at this point, I'm watching the 1111 high, I'm watching the 1127 high, and I'm watching the 1143 low. 34 low, excuse me. The Mag 7 is still puking, and the S&P 500 is still puking. Everyone is just vomiting their calls, but the put buying has stopped. The put purchasing did stop at 1120, and it's been flat ever since. So people are getting out of their calls. They're scared, but they're no longer throwing on new bearish bets. So from 1120 till now, the new bearish bets have concluded. Looking at the Mag 7, dude, people are just vomiting their calls. Vomiting their calls. That's crazy. It's just insane, these types of events. Where's the super trend at? I want to see if the super trend is going to, on the 1 minute even, flip back bullish. SPX needs to get above 655. insane. Should we start looking for some NQ longs? If you do it, just do it with tight risk. If you catch a bottom, yeah, you could ride it all the way back up and make a shitload of money. But this thing, right now, you're catching a falling knife. So eventually things turn. And if someone definitively knew when it was going to turn, they would be a billionaire and they probably wouldn't be your buddy. So from a risk reward perspective, yeah, I get it because we could have a big bounce here, but you have to do it with appropriate risk. You have to have like a very, very tight risk because you are engaging in the game of catching a falling knife. So there's going to be an aspect of luck to it and I don't know. There's going to be an aspect of luck of did you pick the bottom exactly? Definitely an aspect of luck there, but that's not really in your control. What's going to be in your control is risk. So when you do it, just keep a tight risk if you're going to engage in that. And all I can tell you is every single time now, we vomited to a key level and then we bounce and then it vomits again. We just did it to 20 right there. Oh, why is this not working? And then we also did it to 600. That's the next one. But look, the puke, we cut through everything. That was the initial reaction to the key level, the extreme key level, 6680. We bounced up, we puked, we broke the level, we went to the next key level. We bounced, we puked to the next level. So I'm looking for that trend to change. Right now, all we're doing is we're puking to positive gamma nodes. We bounce and then we puke to the next positive gamma node. For me to be interested to like maybe do something here, I would need to see that pattern stop. I don't want to see this. We puke to a level, we bounce, we puke to the next level. Can we put in a double bottom? Can we maybe break a previous level above? That's what I'm looking for because really ever since the sell-off at 1057, we have not stopped that pattern. So I'm waiting for something to like actually change. And right now it does, like we are just in that same pattern of puke, bounce, puke, bounce, puke, bounce. And the bounce is lethargic. The next level after 20 is 6,600. Past that, we're talking about 6,570. And why this is so extreme is once again, we're in negative gamma. You're seeing the impact of what happens when market makers need to go short to hedge out their new positions. So as it is going down, they have to go more and more short, driving it down further, which is like obviously the extreme nature. All right, but maybe not. The question is, are we going to double bottom at any of these? It looked like a double bottom back here at 1110. Nope, fucked. That didn't even have a chance at double bottoming. The question is, do we double bottom here, or are we just going to puke another 20 points? Or are we just going to puke another 20 fucking points? I work night shit, just so good. Why is the market down? Any news? Yeah, Trump and tariffs. Trump threatening China with tariffs. And that's all it is. It's a threat. It's not definitive. We don't know the numbers or anything. The market is it's not overreacting. It is reacting. And then just because of the gamma setup, it is such, it feels like it's an extreme reactions. Wow. I hate Trump because of your day trading. That's your reasoning? Because he's threatening tariffs on a country? It was looking so good. It was looking good. I'm wondering, we tried to double bottom before here at 1110. So keep this in mind. We puked, we popped, we puked, we found support, we puked, and then it got destroyed a couple minutes later. I'm wondering do we have the shot to actually double bottom? This isn't a correction, Greg. This is Trump. Oh, yeah. This isn't just like a little profit. This is like people and bots and the market reacting to the Trump, I guess, announcement. Dude, these ranges are so fucking brutally big. All right, what are we seeing in the flow? All right. We're seeing a little bit of life, but is this time different? I mean, we had one green bar, got fucked. We had a green bar, got fucked. Is this just another one where we have a little bit of life and it gets destroyed? I'm looking at the super trend. It's about to, NQ is about to tilt bullish. Is this the extent of pain, or is this a 5-minute breather and it's about to get more painful? It's a tough question. It's a tough question. Wow. Fascinating. Fascinating, fascinating. This is painful. Too many tabs open. Dude, this daily chart is disgusting. All right, this is what I'm watching here. Do we have a double bottom, or are we just playing out what happened at the turn of the 11 a.m. hour? We pumped up a little bit, and then it got smashed about 5 minutes later. Did any of you degenerates buy this dip right here? Are you saying that, did you buy this double bottom? Because if you did, you should move your stop to break even, I guess is what I'm attempting to say. All right, I'm going to watch this flow. Fuck, dude. All right. The question here is, how big is the bounce going to be? Once again, if we can take out the 11-10 highs, I think the bulls are actually oddly like still in control on a swing perspective, but I'm watching this 11-10 high. SPX right there just caught it. Super trend went bullish. Fuck, dude. I feel like I need to turn these bots off because it's just, I'm getting railroaded over here. Which, as much as it sucks, it's on me, man. As much as it fucking sucks, it is 100% on me. All right, I'm waiting for the next dip to see how I want the next dip to be higher. So right here, we found support at 20. I wouldn't mind. Actually, I wouldn't mind a push to 80, a pullback to 60 or 70. That be the higher low. And then we have a test at 6,700. I want to see, I would love to break this high at 63, because then we have a fresh high. Well, technically we have a fresh high because we took out the 1138 high. I'd feel better taking out another high. And then I want to see a low, ideally above 50. So even this, if we could push to 60, 70, pull back to 50, that's the higher low. And then we test 80, we test 700. And then I would, if we can somehow close the day out above 700, I'd feel much better about my life, because right now I'm not feeling good. Not feeling good, Tonto. Honestly, I'm going to clean some of this up. It's just making my chart too messy. I don't think we need these targets on the chart anymore. I don't think we need those targets for evident reason. Fuck this, dude. Here I was thinking we were going to have an amazing Friday, and it was amazing. Just thus far, it was amazing for the Bears. Hey, Matt, how come back you are on so long? I don't know what the fuck that means. I don't really have the time to decipher it right now. We need a weekend break, dude. You and me both. You and me both. Here's a look at the flow. it's not popping, but it's not extremely dropping anymore. It seems to have, it's attempting to bottom, but who knows? Because the pattern we've seen thus far is you puke to a level and then it bounces and it pukes to the next one. Here at 1141, this is the first time today where it didn't puke to the next gamma level. It just found support at the same gamma level, kind of this double bottom. So we just need a higher low. We got a higher high. Interesting. Okay, clearly a bearish trend. We just got the first higher high. The question is, where's the next low? Is the next low above the 1140 low, which happens to be the intraday low, which happens to be this key gamma level at 6620? That's what I'm looking for. As a bull, if you are bearish, obviously you want the low to take that out. Oh, do I want to take a stab at this? Not gonna lie, this is, if I do it, I just have to do it with the tightest risk. These ranges.
Order submitted. Order submitted.
Oh, what am I doing? What am I doing, Matt? Am I on tilt or am I being smart? It's one of those things where if it works out, you feel like you were being smart, but if it doesn't work out, you feel like you were on tilt. I find like when it seems like situations are quote unquote extreme like this, you just have to be objective as you humanly can be, which is generally just keeping your risk really close and not doing that thing where you move it and you oversize and you triple down, quadruple down. Those are seemingly the recipes for disaster. I'm looking for NQ to get back above 24,900, right where that high is, the 1127 high. Come on, can it push 58? We popped, we pulled back. Are we popping? The question is this the higher low? And obviously, if we break it, no, this carrot will disappear. However, if we take out the 1147 high and take out the 1127 high, then we have a shot. The question is, this carrot right here, is this our first chance at a higher high and a higher low? We're going to be finding out. We are going to be finding out. Mag 7 flat, SPY flat. Come on. Come on, 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 come on. All right, we just took out 900. Are we going to get rejected there, though? Here's a look at the craziness of Bookmap today. Jesus, dude, look at all these orders. This is, it's looking so messed up because of how extreme this all is. Wow. The point, where is VWAP in the point of control? They have to be sky high. They're above 25,000 still. I can't even, VWAP is all the way up at 25,120. It's so comically above where we're at. That's insane. Wow. All right, we're watching. All right, so we did puncture this high. We took out the 1145 and 46 high. We did take out the 1127 high, but just barely. We also ran into the 1 minute 50 EMA. Part of me wonders if like day trading bots are going to be reacting to that, but we are flirting with that 50 minute right there. Can we put in another higher low? If this bar right here or the next bar, if we can puncture 908, we might have 2 higher highs and 2 higher lows in a row. And then from there, we can maybe talk about 60. Dude, these ranges are fucking nuts. These are crazy. Maria got the Nobel Peace Prize and Trump is pissed. Thank you for being here in this trying time. This is part of the market, folks. This is part of the casino. I know if you're on the wrong side of it, it feels like shit. But if you're on the right side of it, some of you in here are on the right side of this move, and it feels amazing. Welcome to the world of high vol. Welcome to the world of negative gamma. All right. Can we hold 50? It seems like double tapped 20 here. Can we hold 50? Uh-oh. The answer to that might be no. The answer to that might be no. Here's a look at the flow. It's going flat. SPY is also going flat. I'm just wondering, is this support the actual support? Like I said, 50. Remember, this is the battle zone. I cannot express the importance of closing above this 20-point region or closing below it. The bulls very much want to close above 6,700. And to me, that would actually represent an extreme amount of strength. If we close below 6,680, that tells me that the bulls like have lost a serious battle, and closing within it, it's just purgatory, and we'd have to wait till Monday. But that's where my eyes are in terms of like the closing value and do I think it's bullish or bearish? Fuck, are we failing at the 50? We might be failing here at the 50. We might be failing here at the 50. Uh-oh. We try to get popping, but we're getting this pullback. So if we are pulling back here, the question is how deep is this pullback going to be? That is the question. How deep is the pullback going to be? Oh, brother. At least things are slowing down a little bit. All right. It is almost noon. We overshot our stay, and unfortunately, I do have a call I have to hop onto. I didn't think that Friday at noon was going to be this crazy, but folks, just keep your leverage in control and stay disciplined with your stops. Don't do that thing where you move it a little bit and then, no, I'm going to lose it a little bit more. And then you keep adding to it. That is the perfect recipe for disaster. If you're choosing to play it, and remember, you don't have to play this either. If you're like, nope, this is crazy, this is bullshit, turn it off, enjoy your weekend and move on with like whatever you need to. But if you are choosing to play it, the tactic, without a doubt, is to, like, these ranges are huge. You gotta size down, without a doubt, size down, and just be disciplined. If you have your stop, your risk, stick to it, and don't be just fucking randomly throwing shit at the board. It might work, it might not, but it's just, the time is ticking until you unfortunately find the bad beat if you approach the market in that way. So whatever you choose to do, obviously, I wish you the best of luck. I hope you make a bunch of money, but I'm begging of you, size down, pay attention to your leverage, and just, you got to stick to your plan. You got to stick to your plan. Congrats to all the Payday Friday winners. I will be reaching out to you, obviously. And guys, enjoy your weekend. We'll be posting an update video on Sunday, and then we'll be streaming once again on Monday. That's what I have for you. Like I said, I wish you the best of luck. Please keep things in control, and I'll catch you later.